gas. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. There we go.
Gotta try my hardest not to comment on this picture. There's a picture on Facebook. Redford Township Police Department. Moly.
Audio.
TV.
So what's going to be the theme of tonight?
Pig's Pod.
Fascinating. Okay.
You motherfucker. I hate you so much.
Okay. No, you can. If you need to. What do we need to do?
Overcooked bacon. That's the theme.
2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Secret tunnel. Houston is now live, streaming, just chatting, the Politically Incorrect Gamers podcast, episode 103. Why are you flipping the bacon? You should be pulling it. Pull it out of there. He's like, I want to burn the other side too. Can't have just one side of it burnt.
You have to be consistently burned.
Yeah, flip it. Flip it and throw that right in the trash. You can use the bacon grease to cook something else, but that bacon's ruined.
Fry you some eggs. Some eggs over medium. And use a little bit of that grease to make it into gravy.
Yeah, or start a grease fire.
Yeah, I mean, we can.
You burn your house down.
So the NASCAR races were in basically my backyard this weekend.
Now recording.
You died again.
What was all that about?
Yeah, we're recording.
That was weird.
The car that won the race on Saturday was sponsored by one of my company's competitors, and he won the race and then proceeded to do this like ridiculous burnout that ended up catching the whole back of his car on fire. Your video is off, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All my stuff went off.
As soon as you hit your now recording. Oh, what have you done?
Why the fuck? And now it's not working. I don't know why. I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, you done messed up my damn video.
Well, that's working. Why is it not showing? I don't understand why it's not showing on OBS because it's working.
Do you have video going somewhere else? Because OBS won't show your video.
I mean in Discord.
Well, yeah. Do you have your video going in OBS?
No, I don't have OBS.
Oh. Everything was working just fine. We were good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there we go. See? There we go. Problem resolved.
I don't know what the fuck. All I did was have Craig going. I don't know why my shit fucking turned off.
Craig fucking stroked you out.
Bacon in my ear. All right.
Yay.
Fuck, we gotta get Jackie to play the intro. All right, we'll just fucking roll the intro then, I guess.
Yep.
It's time to pull out all-nighter. I'm in my zone when I'm gaming at home. My controller plugged in and my gas is turned on. Let's keep on hating. I don't think they want it, and I never run from nothing. But yeah, we want it. You know game was running, game was running, game was running. I know game was running, game was running, game was running. We know game was running, they know game was running. Gaming
Hey. Yeah, I know that, Jackie. Thank you. Welcome to Pigs Pod, episode 103. It is April 16th, 2023. It's 103, right?
Yep. Sure
Right,
is.
sounds good. Sounds good to me. Probably technically like 101, but then we did extra 100, so it's 102. I don't know. It's 103.
No, it's 103.
103.
All I did was go into last week's Twitch and update it from 102 to 103. So
103. Rabble's here. Rabble's here for his overcooked bacon.
Oh, terrible. We really need to update that. This is our weekly reminder to update that intro.
Yeah, we gotta change the Facebook
fix the overlay.
link.
Yeah.
Gotta find somebody else different than Jackie. Fucking worthless piece of shit about to leave here and to say, I haven't done anything in 2 minutes. I'm out of here. That's like fucking, man. So how you been, Q?
I've been all right. It's
I figured I'd save you the trouble.
You beat
I
me
don't
to
want
it. Oh, that
Mr. Mystery. I didn't want him to.
Yeah, he's gonna be all upset now while he's cleaning a boiler or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been pretty good. It's been a fun week. We had went to the spring practice game for Virginia Tech yesterday. That was a lot of fun. Got a little. Well, about the lighting's not the best lighting in here, so you can't see that I burned my face. But other than that, it was good. It was good. Didn't do too much else this week. Did go see the Mario movie.
Oh yeah, is it good? I think they've been making good amount of money.
They've made $500 million since opening weekend, and they said that is the highest grossing video game movie ever. But I recommend it. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
That's like I don't like all these stats because like that doesn't mean
I like
anything when
stats.
money is worth less now than it's ever.
Well, I'm sure those stats are. They mean they have to be adjusted for inflation.
That's like when the fucking I hate NFL stats the worst too because they're like this is the fifth most on a second Tuesday in November of a cousin named Jerry in this particular stadium, and
I
it's
don't
like fucking
I don't mind those stats in football, but it's the baseball ones that get me because
what are those? I don't
well,
watch
it's the
baseball.
same thing. It's like, oh, this is the first time that a left-handed batter has used a other than ash bat since 1901 when so and so did it with a right-handed bat and he was a left-handed pitcher and that hasn't happened since 1841. What
Yeah.
yeah, no.
This is
That's
the first time this has happened with the grass being this particular hue of green. It's like fucking shut up.
yeah, we have switched over from fine fescue to Kentucky bluegrass, and to Kentucky bluegrass has yet to or has never blew or grown in this stadium since 1899 when it was Kentucky blue green grass, and that was planted by the field hand Frank something or another,
Yeah,
and
and that was the first time a Frank Field hand. Before that, it was a Paul, and that was the first like the qualifiers are like if you go
mhm.
far enough out, every single thing you do could be a record. I mean, this is a record right now. This is the first time we've recorded episode 103 of Pigs Pod on in August 16th in 2023 at
You mean April
7:20
16th,
Mountain Time. What did I say?
August?
Well, this will be the first time we did that too. Like, yeah, if you qualify it like that, fucking yeah, good for you. Good job, you did a thing. That's the participation trophy of fucking modern day sports, and I hate it.
I get that. I get that. But
Just tell me who threw the most touchdowns. I don't care who threw the most touchdowns on a Thursday in Candlestick Stadium when a plane flew overhead. Like,
But no, we went and saw the Mario movie, and it was a lot of fun. It's hard to say something like, oh well, it stuck to the source material, and because I mean, I guess it kind of did, um, but I don't want to throw any spoilers out, but I will say that the voice acting was really really good.
yeah,
Uh,
Kevin Chris Pratt.
I liked Chris Pratt doing Mario. I thought he was honestly I didn't even really hear his voice. Does that make sense? Like without somebody telling me that was Chris Pratt, I probably wouldn't have noticed that it was Chris Pratt. Um, Anya Taylor Joy, isn't that her name? The chick from Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, Anya Taylor Joy.
She was the voice actress that was doing
Peach.
Peach. I think she did a great job. I don't know if she's
Peaches,
yeah,
peaches.
and then there's Jack Black doing Bowser, which
Yes.
I thought was really really good. That man just brings he I don't want to like compare him to Robin Williams because Robin is just such the highest bar of everything and when it comes to acting and just being a person. But
Yeah,
one thing that what I liked about Robin Williams was no matter what role he was playing, he brought everything he had to it. Like he
yeah.
just, he went full balls deep into the character, no matter whether it was voice acting or whether it was a a non-essential movie or non-essential character or whatever. But yeah, he really is like the Nick Cage of music movies. But
Who, Jack Black?
yeah, Jack Black, I like that.
Yeah,
But he really sold that character as Bowser. I thought it was
yeah.
a lot of fun.
No, he brings it every role he does. Even in fucking Jumanji, when he's playing a girl that is stuck in a guy's body, he like fucking goes over the top to like
Mhm.
really fucking nail the character. Jack, he's just oozes talent,
He
man.
really does, and I mean, and not just acting, or whether it be in-person acting or voice acting. His ability with music and his ability to write music and his performance ability,
Yeah,
it's just
insane.
it's insane. I love it. But it was a fun movie. I'll say that it was a lot of fun. Um, it
Was
was.
he sing a lot during it? All I've heard is the Peaches song.
I don't think outside of Peaches, I think that's the only singing that he does is the
okay.
Peaches song. There might be a little more, but it's not. I mean, obviously, it's not memorable. Um,
Yeah, if you don't remember it.
it had all of the iconic Mario characters in it. It had the Goombas, it had the Turtles or the Koopas, it had the Shy Guys, the Skeletokoopas or whatever they're called.
Does it ever like quantify you have a life? Does like Mario ever die and go doo 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 doo, and then like he comes back and goes and like a thing flashes in the sky, you have 2 lives left or some shit.
No, you don't really get that. There is a
So
really
it's not
there's
it's not portraying the video game, it's portraying the world, the universe
Well,
that the video game is in.
It kind of is. I mean, minus the whole one life thing.
Yeah.
He does have to eat a mushroom, which makes him bigger. And he gets hit, he gets smaller again. Because I mean, the whole idea of the mushroom power up and there's the fire flower is used and and then the whole premise is around the star. Like that's the premise of the
Getting
movie.
the star?
Yeah, it's about
I
getting
thought it
the
was
star.
saving Peach from Bowser.
The star is more important.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's.
Did they ever talk about how Peach is cheating on Mario with Bowser?
Well, this one is a little bit different. I don't want to go.
Oh.
I don't want to go too into the story because I don't want to put.
Okay, yeah, just
but-
come out. We don't want to spoil it just yet.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I loved it.
So
Heather
recommended.
oh yeah, absolutely. Heather and
Pig Spot
Izzy.
recommended.
Oh yeah, absolutely. we'll 2 hooves up for sure.
Two hooves, 2 hooves up.
I will say
Heather
that
and Izzy, what?
Heather and Izzy and myself went to go see it. All 3 of us
Yeah.
had a great time and laughed, and I mean it was one of those movies that had all age humor in it. There's humor in it that kids won't get, and then there's goofy slapstick humor or pie in the face
the
type
kids.
humor, and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's good.
Cool.
I
I'll have to
told
watch it.
I told Heather that we need to find a copy of the other Super Mario Brothers, the original.
Oh, the original,
Yeah.
bro. I remember watching that when I was little, and I thought it was so good.
Oh, I loved it.
And every time I
absolutely
like
loved it.
see screenshots of it, I'm like, "That was the Koopa? What the fuck?"
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
like a
it-
nightmare fuel.
So I told Izzy that we're gonna find a copy of that one so we can sit and watch that one because
When did that come out? 1993.
yeah, and it came out early '90s.
And Bob Hoskins is fucking Mario.
John Leguizamo.
Yeah,
Um,
so Ouija. Like they just.
Well, and what I was Heather was trying to find it find a platform that it was streaming on, and apparently it's not streaming anywhere because of issues with the original movie. The production company has gone under, and it's just like this whole long laundry list of reasons. Like you just can't find it anywhere, so it might have to be a trip to the underweb to find it. But
Yeah, I'm sure I could find it and send it to you.
yeah, but I recommended.
I can't remember really anything about it. Like I remember like they went like ultra realistic. Like
yeah, so they had to go to I guess what was the Mushroom Kingdom, but it kind of mushrooms kind of wasn't the thing, and Bowser was trying to
they went
like,
through
merge.
pipes, right?
Yeah, they went through pipes and they had to they were trying to merge the real world and the Mushroom Kingdom world, and I remember that like Peach's dad was a fungus, and there was a shot
Didn't
of
they play it like it wasn't like they were just plumbers?
Yeah, they were just plumbers.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the fun thing. That's the same thing that gets played out in this movie. Is they're not?
He's
they're-
just a plumber.
Yeah, they're just plumbers. They're starting their own plumbing business. Like that's the very beginning of the movie. Is them like, hey, we're just now starting, this plumbing job.
Mario and then Green Mario.
yeah, Mario and Green Mario. Yeah. But it was good. I liked it. I would like to see it again. So I'm really excited for when it comes out on whatever streaming platform it'll end up coming out on. Which I don't know which one it'll be. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I
Who
mean, it's
released
not.
it?
Fuck, I don't know. Man, I just went and saw it. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Super Mario Bros.
If you do go to see it, I'll tell you this: there is a mid-credit scene.
Mid-credit
There
scene.
there is a mid-credit scene, so that was cool. But no, other than that,
I'm
it's
trying
been
to
a
see who
it's been a
released
relatively
it.
it's been a relatively quiet week for me. Didn't even really do much in the way of gaming. I haven't picked up Destiny at all this weekend. I'm kind of feel bad
Oh.
because
Yeah, I haven't played any games. It's
Yeah.
been a welcome to the gaming podcast where we don't play games.
well,
Universal made the Mario, so who knows what streaming does Universal? They go to
Does that-
everyone, don't
does
they?
that-
They don't have their own.
is it Peacock?
Oh, maybe
Maybe. I know
that'd be
Paramount.
a big get for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it might be Paramount, but I don't know.
Well,
But
Since
since it's
Peacock has
Universal, that wouldn't make sense.
Peacock has Cocaine Bear, which I want to watch. It just came out.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard that's really good. I've heard it's fun.
Yeah, it's
I've heard-
it's supposed to be like.
I've
stupid
heard way
funny
too
on
many
there.
people. I've heard way too many people say, "Yeah, it's a real story." I'm like, no, no, no. There was a bear that got into cocaine, and that's the end of the. That's
That's the
the
story.
only similarity.
Yeah,
None
the
of the other
story.
stuff happened.
yeah, everything else is artistic licensing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see that. I haven't watched that yet, but no, I figure this week should probably be a gaming, even though we didn't game this week. I will say that
Talk about gaming?
I did get a new game. I'm excited.
But you didn't play it.
No, not yet, because I don't have anybody to play it with.
Oh.
I bought, or Heather bought me Star Wars Armada, which is a tabletop game.
Oh.
Where we have been playing Star Wars, the X-Wing game, which is all the starfighters and X-Wings and TIE fighters and stuff like that. The Armada is the big ship version. So the Star Destroyers and cruisers and things like that. So
Does
I'm
that
really...
coincide with the other one, or you just play Armada? That's the bigger ship
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, it's it's its own standalone game. The rules are similar, but the Armada is more in depth. You have to basically play. Well, it's not basically. You have to play 3 moves ahead. Like you have to, at the very outset of the game, you plan out your first 3 moves, and then on your turn, you make your first move, and then at the end of that turn, you set up your next third move in line. And so you're constantly having to move or track 3 moves ahead. So things like you're going to fire your lasers, and you need to recharge your shields, and
Oh, so you warm up the lasers.
yeah, pretty much.
Divert power to front shields.
Yep. Yep, and those all take individual turns and whatnot. So it's quite fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds extra nerdy.
It is extraordinarily extra nerdy.
We don't just plan moves here. We plan 3 moves.
We plan 3 moves ahead. But yeah,
Pushes his glasses up.
exactly. Which that's not where mine are.
I did kind of want to talk about games since you brought that up.
Yeah, we should.
But the thing I wanted to talk about, kind of how we talked about movies and TV shows and stuff.
Right.
I know, like almost every week I talk on here. Oh, I started a new anime. Well, there's 2 reasons for that. Because like during my lunch breaks at work and stuff. Don't worry, this comes back around to gaming.
I believe
During
it.
my lunch breaks and work and stuff like that, I don't have time to watch a fucking hour show or this or that. And movies just get longer all the time. That new Avatar is like 3.5 fucking hours long. When am I gonna watch that all in a 3.5 hour chunk? Fucking TV shows now. A majority of TV shows, Western released TV shows, American made, are like an hour 20. Like we sat down the other day, and my wife's like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to watch this new show." The first episode was an hour 40, and I'm like, "Bro, we're not gonna watch this. I'm not watching a movie per episode." So most anime is like 20 minutes.
Right.
So it's an easy, and I only pick ones that are like 10 or 12 episodes, and then I get through it, and I'm done. So I haven't been watching anime this week, though. We'll get to that. Might be my cream of the week. I'll tell you what I've been watching. But I was thinking about that this week as far as like gaming goes, and why I think I have such a distaste to like Destiny and like Dark Souls and like so many of those games that like they're basically the Marvel movies of video games. You can't just sit down and play for 10 minutes. There's so much fucking shit to do in games like that. You have to go on a whole fucking adventure. You got to collect all this loot and put different things together to build a different thing and upgrade this and your magic level and this and that and fucking there's so much shit to do. Like there's no such thing. I mean, maybe I could just hop on Destiny, but like not really. There's so much to do, but then there's also so much you have to do. Even if you don't do every single thing that's available, which on like one hand that's a good thing, but when you think back to like early video games, that wasn't a thing. Every video game was like focused on like, all right, this is 5 minutes of fun, and you repeat it forever. You play back that same 5 minutes of fun,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
like the main reason I was thinking about it because at work we got some new pinball machines made by
Nice.
Stern Pinball. So like legit, like the cheapest one we have is $5,000.
Holy shit.
The most expensive one we carry is 10,000. Stern makes like $50,000 pinball machines, but the ones that we have, we got a $5,000 one, a $7,500, and a $10,000 one.
I would
And,
love to
like-
have a home where I could actually say I could put a pinball machine.
Play fucking pinball.
Yeah,
Like,
just like not that it
Dude, they're
necessarily
so
not that I necessarily may buy the pinball machine, but I would just like to
Yeah.
have a house that has the room where I could be like, yeah, I could put a pinball machine over there. Because I mean,
yeah,
that's a
with
lot
that
of space.
Yeah, it is. You need the overhead for the fucking backboard, and you need fucking 5 feet and 5 by 2 feet.
Yeah,
Like,
easily.
You don't just stick it in a corner.
No,
Like,
no. I mean,
no, that's like a basement room, a game room, or something.
yeah, that's almost like a centerpiece of a room. Is like your pinball machine.
Yeah. You want to see my pinball? Yeah. The funny thing is, a guy we work with, I didn't know this until we got the pinball machines. He has 8 pinball machines in his house. I'm like, what the
Jesus Christ.
fuck? You have 8 pinball machines?
Jesus
He's like,
Christ.
yeah, I kind of collect them. I'm like, what's your most expensive? He's like, oh, not like this. My most expensive is like 3,000. I'm like, all right, but you have 8 of them. Don't act like it's a casual, like, yeah, I just found it at a yard sale. You don't just like happen into 8 pinball machines in your basement.
I have an acquaintance. He's not. I wouldn't say a friend. He's an acquaintance that
Yeah.
he collects arcade machines. That's his thing.
Yeah,
And
like
he,
legit ones,
like
not like the
legit ones.
fucking
Yeah.
one-up ones you get for $200 at
oh
Walmart.
no. These are the ones that probably lived in an arcade in the 80s somewhere. It's like it was a survivor of a skating rink in 1982. You know those.
Where does he
types of-
put them?
He's
Like
got
in
a-
his basement.
In
or
his
something?
basement, he's got like a full finished
Okay.
basement. But what's really cool is like once a month, like he'll let all of his friends know, like, hey, if you have friends or you guys or your friends want to come down, come over to my house on like Friday night, and for $10 you can come in and play all my games all night long.
Yeah,
And that's basically
that'd
like
be fun.
it covers like the cost of the electricity and stuff like that. And you can go down to his house and just play fucking Pac-Man or Galaga or Space Invaders,
Yeah,
like these OG arcade games. And like $10. So I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
That's
That's
like
a
a
fucking
dollar
good
a
deal.
play, and you're gonna do way more
it's
than
like
10
$1
plays.
an hour.
It's like $1 an hour. Jesus. But it's such a cool idea. But I couldn't.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. The idea of those old games, they were like such a small chunk, like Pac-Man. That's only a 3, 5, maybe 8 minute thing if you're really good. Maybe longer, but like,
Yeah, 10 minutes.
and then you
tops.
just repeat that.
Right.
You just and that's how all those old games are. Like it's so rare to come across games like that anymore. Like,
Yeah.
even like, man, it's hard to explain because like when you think of like an arena shooter, like a Halo or a Call of Duty or whatever, you go, oh, it's the same, but not really. The amount of different maps they're playing on and different
Yeah.
weapons and different operators and all that shit thrown in, you might not play the same sort of thing. Like you might come around a corner and shoot a guy from like the same spot a couple times a night if you play for a few hours. But like that repeated like thing where it's just focused on intense fun and then all right, fuck, I died. Do it again. I want
Right.
to get a little further. I want to increase my score just a little bit.
Well, I call things like Battlefront. I call them arcade shooters because it's kind of
Yeah.
what it is. You know, you go forward, you run out, you shoot 3 or 4 things, you die, you do it again. You just kind of that endless loop. But I mean, even that's not doing it justice to the original arcade games, like you said, the games
Yeah.
that you need you put a few minutes into it, and I don't know if you grew up with it, but we had a arcade in the mall near where I lived growing up, and it was common to go in there on like a Saturday night with all the kids, and there'd be like a line of people wanting to play certain game. I think it was Street Fighter was the one that we played, and it was
Yeah.
like everybody there would be like this little flat surface running across the top of like the button area, and you put your quarter up there. Like I'm next, I got the next.
Yeah, you call next.
And it was always fun because you'd get there and you'd walk around the room to see what games were open, and you get to like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter and those types of games. It'd be like 7, 8, 9, 10 quarters all the way across, going whose turn it is. Like, oh yeah, there's like 10 other people that are going to be playing this before you. So
Yeah.
That's
No, Rebel's right. The 10-minute game got regulated or kind of remade into flash games.
right.
That is true.
Well, that's one thing that I think is a shame for the current generation is that there really isn't anything like that in today's gaming world where you can go out and play those types of games in a community setting. You're stuck playing it online or in a console with your friends at your parents' house or whatever.
There's not that many single player games, and even the single player games, there's not that many games that like it's almost looked down on now when you hear, oh yeah, that game's only 6 hours long. People say it like it's a bad thing.
Right.
But like we were saying, or like I was saying, like fucking a 20-minute TV show versus a 3.5-hour Marvel movie.
Right.
Maybe I don't want a video game that I got to play 150 hours to get to like 80%.
Right. Well, I think the difference there is though is so long as the price point matches the time involved. If there's if I'm going to be dropping $60 on a game, $70 on a game, I want to get $100 out of it or more.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think that's where they've lost focus. I think that's what I'm getting at. The replayability, the classic Halo games with fucking 10, 12 maps, you play all day, all night, fucking every day. You're playing the same shit over and over again, but it didn't like lose its fun.
Right.
And then you come to modern games now, they're so focused on all this DLC and unlocks and all this other shit. Like I can't even hop on Infinite if I wanted to for some reason. I can't even hop on Infinite and enjoy it. Like, because the second I get on, I'm bombarded with, all right, I have to do that challenge and that challenge. And,
Right.
oh, that's a cool skin. I'm not going to buy it. So how do I unlock it? All right, I'm going to have to do this other 30 things.
Yeah.
I can't even focus on just, I mean, it doesn't help that the game doesn't fucking work and still lags and melee still don't count. But
Did you see the news about what's his name? Staten?
yeah, I sent that to you like a week
Did
ago.
you? I can't remember. Like I've
Yeah,
seen it
he
like
left.
4
He
times.
left a while ago.
Is it? I thought there was somebody else that left. Maybe I got him confused. Maybe it was just him.
There's rumors that more people are leaving. It sounds like they're doing either a complete restructuring, or they're doing what we predicted, where they will just kind of be like the main like publisher, like the head,
Mhm.
and somebody else will make it. But yeah, it sounds like it's getting completely restructured at 343. But
Well, that was the thing too. Is over the last like 4 months, it looks like 343. I don't know how big their employee size anyway, but they're saying that they've cut at least 95 jobs out of 343 in the last few months. And
well, yeah, that doesn't help.
so I mean that's
450, that doesn't mean anything. I don't know how big they are anymore. They did get up to like 400, but I think they cut way down now.
I just
It's unfortunate because like even with or without those people, I don't think we'll ever get Halo like we had it before. I just don't see it happening. The whole industry is completely different now. The amount of money that is there, and then all these companies moving in, and like I don't know. It's funny. I mentioned like a few weeks ago how like I want good single player games that like focus on storytelling and stuff. And that's true. I do want that because that's few and far, between as well. But I also want, whether it be a competitive or a multiplayer game or whatever, I want something that's just give me a quick 5-10 minute repeatable pattern that's just fucking fun.
Right.
Like,
Well, and that's excuse me, I almost died there. There's I think you make a good point because there is so much focus on making that long game, making that game with a ton of content. And if it doesn't have a ton of content, I'm going to sell you more tons of content.
yeah,
But the idea of the single player out of the gate, this is what you get game, you don't really see them that often. I mean, supposedly that's what Hogwarts is. That's it. What you've got there, that's it. This is your product.
well, Hogwarts has the same thing too, where there's so much to do in it.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that's
there's
an
not
open
as
world
much as
game.
like there's not as much as you can do in like Skyrim or a GTA or something, but there's still a fuck ton of stuff to do in it.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. So, but there is that balance. Like, how would you create a short, repeatable, single player game that would keep people's interests?
Well,
What would
like
that
the
look
only
like?
ones you see anymore are like the indie games and like some of the ones that like pop up on Steam or like Game Pass,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, oh, this is just a cheap little free game or it's $5 or whatever. Some of those are they're exactly that, but they never get the spotlight because Sony and Microsoft and all they don't make money off of that.
Right.
But yeah, it's I mean, I'm proud as a gamer, even though I haven't played a game in a long time, uh, to say that I'm a gamer and be like, yeah, the gaming industry has completely overtaken movie and TV like combined. Even counting Netflix and all the streaming service and everything, gaming still makes way more money. Like it's not even close. They completely have overshadowed every other entertainment industry by far. But because of that, you have all these, super mega companies. You got the EAs and the fucking Epics and all this coming in where how can we make money? And it's nonstop fucking content. And like I've said like 3 times now, it's kind of overwhelming for like someone like me that I don't have the time to sit down and play your game for 200 hours to complete everything.
Well, yeah, I read an article this morning, I think it was, that is saying that the largest user base of video games are millennials. Like millennials are playing video games more
Makes
than
sense.
they're playing more than Gen X, more than Gen Z, more than the upcoming Gen Alpha. That
Yeah.
we're still the largest block of gaming. So gaming,
Yeah, my son doesn't. My son plays, but not that much. He watches YouTube. My daughter doesn't play anything. I mean, she's only 3, but she even like watching YouTube or whatever. She has more fun just playing outside.
right?
But maybe that's just her personality type. But
Well,
yeah, definitely, I can see like our generation. We grew up with it, and now we're stuck.
well, I think video games is a coping mechanism for our generation. I
Yeah,
mean, the world has been going to shit all the way from as far back as we have like memories, and the only thing
Yeah.
that kept us going was playing video games. Our
yeah.
generation
When
was
we were,
the largest generation of, or the generation that had the most or the highest percentage of divorced parents and single parent families and like all of these
Mhm.
things that. Now, I'm not gonna say that single parent families aren't good, and I don't mean it like that, but these are things that are non-traditional that
yeah,
our generation kind of
They
had to cope with, along with
yeah.
9/11 and school shootings and
Yeah, well, we had Y2K, the whole drama around that, and
Mhm.
then phones, and then cell phones and the internet, and that brought around hacking and all kinds of whole new scam industry and like the
it's
biggest like the division of wealth like started when we were little. It was already starting to get bad,
right.
but it's just continued to spread, and we've just
Thanks,
watched it
Reagan.
the whole time get worse and worse.
Yeah. But I mean, and what we've done to cope with that is video games.
Yeah.
And whether it be shooters or racing games or sports games or whatever your whatever your personal favorite is, it's the generation before us didn't really have video games. I mean, they had arcades and stuff like that, but I mean, they didn't have the ease of
Yeah.
access
They had
like we did.
pinball.
They had pinball. Yeah. But and then the generation behind us, the millennial generation has a relatively low percentage of things like divorced parents and single parent homes, and it's if millennials are having kids, they're having kids after being in a marriage for a long period of time is what is much more common than what it was our generation going back, where our parents, we were born 9 months after our parents' wedding anniversary. I mean, you just kind of start doing the math, and you're like, ugh, but that's not the way it is anymore. Like,
No.
we're
Hardly
much
anyone's
more.
even having kids in our generation.
We are having children at a much lower rate, and those of us that do have kids are having fewer kids. We only have one kid, and we don't have any intention of going beyond that.
Yeah, you can't afford it.
We can't afford it. Well, number one, we can't afford it, and number two, it was so fucking hard when Izzy was born, and Heather took 5 years off from work because we didn't have a babysitter. We couldn't afford it. We started.
Daycare's too fucking expensive.
Yeah.
It'll take your whole check if you go to work. You'll just pay. It'll go right to daycare.
It did, and that was the part that got me, is we started doing the math. And I don't know where that came from. But we started doing the math, and it was literally going to take my entire weekly paycheck for her to be in daycare. Like, it wasn't even like hyperbole. Like, no, it's going to take. I was making
literally
$400 a month, $400 a week, and her daycare was $410 a week. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So, Heather stayed out of work for 5 years until Izzy was old enough to go to school, and
yeah. But then it kind of like now. The other difference too that like boomers don't understand. You could be a fucking bagger at a grocery store and be fine. You could afford a house and a car, and to have several kids
right.
and send them to school, college if you wanted. You literally a single person working like a decent job, like as an accountant or whatever, can't even afford a fucking house and a car now. And they're like, we don't, they don't understand that. Oh, why is nobody having kids, and why is fucking everything going to shit? It's like, because you guys fucking ruin it.
Well, we were having this conversation amongst some people yesterday, and it was incredibly shocking when the cost, like what it actually costs to rent homes or rent anything today.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Living here where we do, which is in a college town. Rent is, for an apartment, for a 1-bedroom apartment, you're talking $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does that even work? How can you afford that? And Heather and I were fortunate enough that we were able to buy. We bought our house, and our mortgage is less than that. Reasonably less than $1,000, but have kids to keep Social Security from failing. Well, that's another issue that's coming too. It's going to happen.
We're so close to them dying off, and the problem will go away, and because there's got to be a restructuring. Literally, people can't afford to live. Right. There's a huge trend on TikTok now of everyone, van life.
Yeah.
The whole SNL skit, living a van down by the river. Now it's a fucking.
Yeah, now
people are figuring out how to do it because you literally can't afford rent.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you make. You'd be like, yeah, I make $30 an hour. It doesn't mean shit. I can't afford a house or rent or fucking food.
Yeah.
When milk is fucking $5 a gallon.
Yeah. I just I just don't see how the next generation is going to be able to do it. You know, our generation is already having, you know, children at a much lower rate. I mean, the Gen Zers. I'll be
Yeah, they
surprised if
aren't gonna
Gen
want
Zers
any
have
at all.
kids. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
why would you, number one, why would you want to bring the kids up in today's climate? You know, and not just like the environmental stuff, but just it sucks. We are so divided. We're so at each other's throats. Why would they want to subject more people to just the hate that is this
Yeah.
country? And it's a shame.
Well,
It
they
sucks.
they've done a really good job. All the rich people have done a really good job at pointing us at each other. Now, there's a lot of us, especially on TikTok, that realize, you know, it's non-founded and stupid, and we don't even bother in the debates.
Right.
But a lot of older, and especially a lot of the boomers, who are really loud, like on social media and in
Mhm.
person, especially about how upset they are about this and that. Bush beer's got rainbows on it. They're
So I think where I said we went to the Virginia Tech spring game. It was their open practice where they have like the first team plays the second team for an entire 4 quarters. It's 10-minute quarters, whatever, and they treat it just like a regular game. All the concession stands are open. They do all of the the events and stuff that goes on during the game. And so, of course, they're selling beer. They that's a new thing for Virginia Tech is they're selling beer at the concession stands. And me and Switch were really like focused on paying attention to see how many Bud Light cans were being sold versus how many cans of Coors. And I don't think
like the whole thing doesn't even make sense either. There's only like 3 beer companies.
yeah, that's the thing too,
You're-
is that the people that are complaining about it, like
Yeah,
The-
unless you're buying like a real local thing or like a foreign,
right.
some
Well,
weird thing. You're
even-
supporting.
even if you're buying imported beer, let's say that like, oh, I'm not gonna drink this American beer because of politics. I'm gonna drink Coronas or Modelo or Tsingtao, one of the Asian beers. They may not be
Yeah.
made by an American producer, but they use American distribution lines that are owned by Anheuser-Busch or all these. So yeah,
It's the
Corona.
whole Harry Potter thing all over again.
Yeah,
You're just saying you don't support it, and you're saying you're upset because of one little thing, and then you're gonna have to try so fucking hard to actually make a difference. All you're doing is making a stink, and you just wanting to feel like you're part of some fucking thing.
but no, I will say that I noticed. I don't have any real data to go on because I've never paid attention to this prior to this incident.
Yeah,
But I will say that there was a substantial higher amount of Coors cans being consumed than Bud Light. I think I might have seen 1 or 2, and the vast majority was Coors. And I just wanted to remind people that Coors had Coors had their own.
Coors did a thing.
Yeah, they have their
before
own pride
Bud
thing.
Light
Like
ever
all
did.
of them have. Like all of the major beers, Bud, Coors, Miller Lite, Michelob. You pick one of the those beers, and they've all done it. Even the smaller companies like Yingling and Guinness and stuff, they've all done their version of like Pride Month beers. And I guess they never noticed it because they were all too busy drinking Bud Light, which is a terrible beer. And because that's the fun part is like I want to support Bud Light for what they've done, but their beer is so fucking nasty. They're on their own. Like
Yeah, the
I'm just
piss water.
not. Yeah, I mean it gives me the worst headache that I've ever had, and just whenever I drink Bud Light, it's just not worth it. I don't
It's
mind
not
Budweiser, but Bud Light I just can't drink.
It's so funny that fucking I just can't wait till their whole generation dies off and we move on to
Well, that's
bettering the world. Hopefully,
that's assuming that the world's still in it, still recoverable.
Yeah.
Have you been following what was going on in Florida and Tampa?
yeah,
Where they had they had 25 inches of rainfall in 2 days, and
yeah.
the flooding is just obscene. I talked to a
Yeah.
guy that was like, yeah, we've had 2 inches of rain this entire year, and in the last 2 days we've had 25 inches. It's like,
And we've had,
interesting.
and I've heard the argument too, like, oh well, freak weather has happened before, and we've had floods before, and there's been. It's like yeah, but you're not realizing like it keeps getting closer and closer together and
Right.
happening more often in more places. Yes, there's been freak weather and floods and shit, long time ago. Uh, but like,
Bud wipe. It's
but
really
like
that's really about what the best thing to
that's
call it. It's
that is
nasty.
what it is.
Well, I live in the mountains of Virginia where any given summer, or excuse me, any given winter, we'd probably have one or two really good snows. Like that, kids are out for a few days, maybe a week, that type of snow.
Yeah.
We got we got a dusting. That's the most snow we got this entire winter. And I don't ever remember that. I don't ever
Yeah.
remember having a winter where there was no snow days. The kids had
Yeah.
no snow days.
Yeah, and us in Utah, we got more snow than we've ever had. We broke every record Utah's ever had for snow.
Mm.
We got like fucking 700 inches or some shit across the winter. Like,
Jesus Christ. Well, then I saw that you were having all the issues with the flooding with the snow
yeah,
melt stuff.
because there was flooding in like 83 or something when they had like almost a little more than half of the amount of snow we got this year. And, it did the same thing where like it snowed like a foot, and then like a week later it was 70 degrees. And that's exactly what it did here. Last week it snowed like a foot. And then the last few days it's been like 70 degrees. So you give us the most snow we've ever had, and then it all fucking melts away. And like they spent like millions and millions of dollars in the late 80s and early 90s. Like, all right, if this ever happens again, we won't flood because like all the major roadways in Salt Lake City like flooded. They were like rivers.
Mhm.
There was this flowing fucking water down the street, and like, oh, we upgraded everything. Everything's so much better, and now they're having the same problem.
Well, they didn't keep it up.
Uh,
I guarantee
yeah.
they
Well,
spent all that money to upgrade it, and then they're like, all right, that's all we needed to do.
Well, there also been cheap construction. There's a ton of roads that have just collapsed because they're just paving over dirt. They're just paving over sand. They
Right.
never spent the money to like properly set up a foundation or anything under the road. They're just saying, yeah, put a thin layer of pavement down, it'll be good. And the water's just washing away like fucking entire roadways. Like,
Yeah, it's no, you're 100% right. And who knows? I mean, I have a feeling this year is going to be we're going to have some of the worst weather that we've seen maybe
it's gonna
ever.
be fucking 115 degrees everywhere. It's gonna be fucking.
It's going to
We're
be
gonna get no rain.
well. See, I think it's going to be 100 and some degrees, and we're going to get a lot of rain. And I think we're going to
Could
see
do that too.
we're going to see major hurricanes again.
Yeah.
We're going to see another Katrina / Sandy events.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get a lot of hurricanes this year. I already know that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we'd lose half of Florida to flooding and the ocean is taking it over.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Just bummer.
I'm not as concerned with the weather though, and they do a good job focusing on weather and not talking about the other issues. But like, when you really look at it, it's kind of scary. There's only like 13 companies that basically own 99% of the world. And that's a problem. That's a major part of why nobody can afford anything because they control everything.
Well, I mean, when you look at still coming back to weather, when you have these like extreme weather conditions, in Florida, for example, or in California, where so many of our crops are grown, like our oranges and fruits and what have you, well, you're going to see just incredibly high produce prices because of it, and the same thing we're going to see it with grain prices and bread prices, and if we don't have a good winter. And yeah, I'm totally.
Well, the problem is they'll also
Florida.
they'll double down on it and they'll price gouge. Even when they have plenty and they figure out how to get it, they'll fucking still raise the price and go, yeah, but it's been hard.
Right.
Well, it's like, didn't you just say last week at the fucking stakeholders meeting that you guys have made more profit than you've ever made in your entire existence of the company? But yeah, but it was been so hard to do that.
That's been my number one problem. That has honestly been my number one problem with everything that's happened over the last 3 or 4 years, going pre-COVID and all that, is that idea of we're making obscene profits, but prices are through the roof, and you're like, well, gee, I wonder why we're making extreme profits
Yeah, I
when
wonder
everything is
how-
doubled in
I wonder
price.
how you did it. Yeah, how'd you do it?
Yeah, wages have barely
It-
moved, so it's not wages that are going up. And as a business
No.
owner, I can tell you the number one expense that you have as a business is payroll. And if
Mhm.
if payroll isn't increasing, if your wages aren't increasing, then where's this coming from? Where's
Yeah.
this extra cost coming from? And it doesn't appear that it's coming from anywhere except arbitrarily raising prices. And it's they're raising prices in a way that it's like, okay, we're not in a shortage yet, so let's go ahead and drive up prices now just in case we have a
Yeah.
shortage, so we can
Well,
make
and
up
then they
that
blame and they act like there is a shortage or there's one coming.
right.
Or well, the war in Russia caused it, made it really hard. It's like, yeah, the wars go on all the fucking time. Like, it's an unfortunate thing being a human on Earth. We have to deal with wars and people fighting and resources shifting around and stuff. It's unsustainable though, and we're literally coming up. It might be this year, it might be next year, it might be 2 years away, but it's gonna hit a head where literally they haven't raised wages and they just continue to raise prices. Literally, there can only be so many people living in their cars and nobody buying houses.
Right. Well,
There can
and
only be so many people that can't afford fucking food and have to get on government assistance.
well, and that's the thing that the housing market has to collapse soon, has to, because
Yeah.
there's just not anybody, there's not anybody buying them. Number one, or number two, it's like we can't buy them because of things like student debt and other things, like we just can't afford it. And then you take it, and what really just chaps my ass, my number one problem that I have with renting is I've seen so many rental companies, especially around here with it being a college town, will say, okay, yeah, we've got this room up for rent. It's $1,000 a month, and we need $1,000 down payment, and then we'll need $1,000 deposit, and then $500 to hold, to like an application fee to hold it until you're processed. Oh,
Yeah.
and you've got to have a 700 credit score.
Yeah.
And I'm
And we need a $75 to run a background check, and that's non-refundable.
right. And I'm sitting here going, okay, so you're telling me for me to be able to rent your apartment, I need to come up with basically $5,000 right here on the spot. For $5,000 and a 700 credit score, I can put a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
And that's
But you can't buy any houses because all the houses are already owned by investment companies.
right. And
Who
honestly,
have raised the price of all the houses that they're selling that they own.
I think that I don't know how you would do it, but creating some type of law to make it more difficult, or in some cases just not possible, illegal, however you want to put it, for companies to buy single dwelling residential homes.
Yeah. Again, we have to wait till the boomers die out for that to happen.
That's true.
They're getting paid so many millions by these companies. That's why all the laws are like they are. That's why during COVID and this huge, swing of rental and like home buying and everything, it's all company owned now. There's
Right.
no families buying houses
Mm-mm.
because they bought everything up and then raised all the prices.
Did
And,
you
like,
hear
they
about
can't figure out
the?
why nobody can afford to buy houses?
Did you hear about the Zillow scam that has gone just completely unnoticed? How Zillow would go into a neighborhood and would buy up all 10 of the houses that are for sale in that neighborhood. Zillow would just go ahead and buy them and then
Yeah.
put them back up for sale, and they could raise the price up of all those houses 15, 20, 30%, and that would just become the bottom line for houses in that neighborhood because Zillow owns all 10 houses. So, you
but
can't go.
it bit them in the ass because they did it too much.
Yeah, they finally
think-
got caught, but by then
Yeah,
the
they
damage was already
lost-
done.
Yeah, I'm sure they made more than they lost, but I heard in the last 4 months they've lost $420 million.
Good.
I'm sure they made up more than that by doing
I
it
bet you they made
for
$1 billion.
all this time. Yeah.
And that's another problem that we have with these corporations is they will run up a tab and they'll make so much money in some horrible, wrong, ethically bankrupt way of doing it. They'll make $1 billion, and then they'll get caught doing it, and they'll face fines of $500 million. Like, well, that they still come out $500 million ahead. So
Yeah.
what does it matter to
Or
them?
more.
Or more.
They make billions, and then you go, oh, that you can't do that. 50 million charge, and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
that'd be like me if I went into Walmart for a year and just stole everything. Just kept stealing, and at the end of the year they go, hey, you can't do that. $50 charge.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, like I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And then if it actually happens that they're gonna lose money, then they get bailed out. They don't even have to lose the money.
Well, and that's the next problem is, just like what Rabble says here, the fines are just cost of doing business, and that's the thing that gets me is that let's say that you're that $1 billion profit corporation, you get popped for $500 million, you come out ahead $500 million, and you
And
take
get
that
a bailout.
yeah, well, and you take that $500 million that you paid in fines. Well, now you just write that off as a loss. So now you're paying taxes on $500 million less. So that $500 million that you profited at the end of all of this is free and clear. You paid no tax on that because you
Yeah.
took a $500 million loss. And then because you took a $500 million loss, that qualifies you for some type of bailout or some type of tax break or some shit like that, where now you're paying even less taxes.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's so-
I
it's
see
so
a real
crazy.
problem here.
The memes I see are so funny where our profits, or it's my profits, our losses.
Right. Right.
They'll take all the profits, and as soon as they start losing money, they need to be bailed out.
Right.
And then there's all the excuses from like the Wall Street guys and the financial guy that if they fail, the whole system will fail. No, the system's going to fail
Bummer.
because you guys keep raising prices and not wages.
Yeah.
If
it's
nobody
bummer.
can afford to buy fucking anything,
Yeah.
then
Or
the
better
whole
yet,
system falls apart.
you run a train company with no safety, make billions, and then when a train crashes, have the government clean it up. That sounds familiar. There was another one in Maine just yesterday. There was
Yeah,
another
there was
train
another one
derailment. Yeah.
like last week, like 5 miles from my house again.
Right. And it just
Yeah.
and it kills me. And there, a buddy of mine was, he went to apply for Norfolk and Southern, the train company that caused the issue in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He went to apply for an engineer position, and while he was there, he went through all the safety classes and all this, and it was for every 2 miles of train, you had to have 4 engineers on the train. So basically, you had 1 engineer for every half mile of train. Well, in the last year to 2 years, they've cut that in half. So now you have 2 engineers.
Well, they got to make those record profits.
Yeah.
How you expect them to get the record profits, Q?
So then before you leave on your trip wherever you're going, taking your train load, you have to do a visual inspection of all of the train cars. Okay, well, you did have 4 engineers to do that, to walk the 2 miles. So you only had to walk a half a mile to check the cars. So now you've got to walk a mile each to check these cars, and they only give you a certain amount of time from the start of your shift to when you need to be leaving the train station. So now it's going to, hey, shout out to Mystery. Thanks for the sub.
Real mystery. I don't know who that is, but shout out for the
Shout out to that guy.
sub on the Twitch.
But so, and they only give you a certain amount of time from when your shift goes on to when you need to be leaving the train station. So not
Yeah.
only are you getting twice as many cars that you have to check, you're getting half as much time to do it in. Because of course they're
Yeah.
not going to give you more time. They're like, oh, okay, well, there's only 2 engineers, so we should double the amount of time that you get before you leave the train station. No, same amount of time.
Yeah.
And then
well,
they're-
that's not unique to just the training.
Oh,
Every
no,
fucking
no.
job and company is doing that now, where they're giving everyone more responsibility for the same pay, and then bitching and nobody wants to work anymore.
Right. Yeah. and it comes back to my favorite phrase in business, and I've said it for years, and that's minimum wage is minimum effort. If you're
Mhm.
going to pay me a shit wage, well, I'm going to do a shit job. Why should I
Yeah.
kill myself when you're not willing to pay for that death?
Yeah.
It's that simple. And what really is even worse than the nobody wants to work, like that's so dumb. I hate that line. Like anybody that says that's an idiot.
Yeah, everyone wants to work.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to make money,
The
but
issue,
nobody wants to be a slave.
the real issue that we're facing in this country is the fact that you have job hoppers. That's the real problem, is that we're not paying our people. So it's not that they don't want to work. They're going to come work for you for a while, realize that, oh, yeah, we're totally going to give you a raise. Well, in 6 months, we'll evaluate it and see if we'll give you a raise. Okay, 6 months comes along, and they're like, oh, well, times are tough. It's really hard. So these people are like, well, fuck you. I'm going to go elsewhere. So they leave that job.
Or they
and
give
go
you a
to another one.
raise, and it doesn't even match
Yeah,
how
here's-
much inflation is raised. They're like, here's 25 cents.
Yeah.
And you're like, I need another $2 an hour to
Yeah,
keep
to
up with my
not-
rent.
to be able to eat, and so these people are up and be like, well, fuck you, I'm going to go, and we're going to find somewhere else to work. And then people are surprised by, well, nobody wants to work. No, they just don't want to work for you.
Yeah.
Because there's some corporations out there that take care of their employees.
There's
and-
a few.
There is a few, and Costco is a good example. They pay a high wage, they pay insurance, they pay health benefits, they pay retirement benefits and things like that.
Yeah.
And strangely, they don't
They're
have
not going out of business.
and they don't have high turnover.
Yeah,
You know,
it's crazy.
and then you look at companies like, when you look at, say, Walmart
Amazon.
or Scamazon, where
We don't have ads from them this week. We can talk about them.
But yeah, Amazon's a really good example, because what they do is they pay just enough that makes you want to consider working for them. So that, they don't
Yeah.
pay the minimum wage. They pay maybe $3 or $4 over minimum wage. So they suck you in with that idea. So you go to work for them and go, hey, I'm going to make pretty decent money. And then they treat you like shit. And they're like, oh, yeah, you get 30 minutes for lunch, but it takes you 10 minutes to walk to the lunchroom and a 10-minute walk back. So guess what? You really get 10 minutes of lunch, and there's only
and
one
if you're
microwave.
over, you get fired.
Yeah. Yeah, join the army, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Yeah, that's another great one.
Oh, that's my favorite, that they can't find any recruits and they're wondering why.
Well, yeah, why would they want to join the military when they get shot overseas, when they can get shot in the comfort of their own schools? I mean, why would they want to do that?
You can just go to a school play if you want to get shot at.
And I mean, that's what we joke about that, but it's just a coping mechanism.
I think it's definitely this year, but I think last year it crossed the threshold where shootings is literally the number one cause of death in children.
Children between the ages of 5 and 17,
Under 18, basically.
basically under 18, school age kids. The number one cause of death in school age children is gun violence.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we crossed the threshold last year.
Yeah, but we can't do anything about that because of a comma in a
It's
archaic
probably
document.
the trans. It's the trans having it's sharing the bathroom. That's probably what it is.
Yeah,
We should get rid of
absolutely. That's totally the problem.
that. No, it's all the boomers' fault. I don't remember if I sent it to you. There was a TikTok of a girl, a millennial, and her mom is a boomer. Her mom owns a business, a landscaping company.
Okay,
I don't think I sent it to you.
I think I've
does it
seen this,
sound
but
familiar?
keep going. I think I've seen
I
this.
might have sent it to you.
Yeah.
So her mom owns a landscape company, but a really successful landscaping company who does work for like rich people, millionaires. Like she's charging 50, 60, 80 grand for like her landscaping work. And they're doing a lot of stuff, but she's making a lot of money off of it.
Right.
And she was asking her daughter, who, social media type on TikTok all the time, YouTube and all that. She asked her daughter for help. Hey, can you help me put together like a fun little video about coming to work here? Because I just can't seem to get any applicants. And she's like, yeah, sure. Let me take a look. Like send me what you have, or like the info of the job application and stuff. And she like sent it to her. And she's like, Mom, you're paying $12 an hour? Yeah, nobody's gonna come work for you to go work at in a yard of some millionaire's place.
Right.
A fucking mansion, a palace, and then get paid $12 an hour. She's
Right.
like, well, stuff's expensive, this and that. She's like, okay, Mom, that's fine, but you have to be willing to take less yourself if you want somebody to actually work for you, especially if you want somebody that her mom was also complaining that the people that do come work for me just work for me for a few weeks and then steal a bunch of stuff and leave.
Shocking.
And she's like, yeah, you're paying them $12 an hour.
Right.
They have to make a living. They can't pay rent or eat on what you're paying them. So of course they steal your stuff and go sell it. If you actually paid a good wage, they would happily work for you and not steal your stuff.
Well,
And like,
shit wages attract shit workers.
yeah,
You're going to get the low skilled, low wage, low ability,
yeah,
you know,
the ones that don't give
unethical
a fuck, that
ones
are
that don't
just
give a fuck.
applying to any job that
Yeah.
comes up. They don't give a fuck.
and
And then
they'll
you
bounce from job to job to job, and
Yeah,
it don't matter. And then
it was so funny. Her mom literally said the line too. Like her boomer mom said, "Well, nobody wants to work anymore." She said it. It's like, what do you mean nobody wants to work? We all want to work. We all want
Yeah.
money. Nobody wants to sit at their house and do nothing.
Well-
But unfortunately, you make more money sitting at home doing YouTube than you do going to work for one of these big fancy companies.
right.
That's
Well,
a good opportunity.
I think what gets me, and this is a local thing that I noticed, and I'm sure it's endemic across the entire country, but there was a ton of businesses in my area, especially like right as COVID was winding down, like the middle of last year, that everybody had help wanted signs. The economy was starting to get moving again, and it was help wanted. And everybody's like, oh, nobody, there's nobody that wants to work. And I'm like, I don't know a single person that's not working, that is my age or within 10 years of either direction of my age, that's not working. I know more people that are working 2 jobs than are working no jobs. So it's
Yeah.
like maybe it isn't a worker problem. Maybe it's the supply problem. Maybe it's on the business side. Maybe you should be, I don't know, giving me incentive to want to come work for you.
Yeah.
Because gone are the days where our unemployment rate is incredibly low.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not.
Yeah, so it's
that
not
bad.
that it's not that people aren't wanting to work. It's that people aren't wanting to work for these shit wages.
Yeah, we're only at as of March 3.5% unemployment.
Which is crazy low, crazy low. And
yeah, it was at during COVID. I mean, obviously, but because it was the worst during COVID and during a majority of Trump time, the worst it got up to was 14.5%. And it's just been coming down ever since.
it's that they don't want to work anymore. They already have jobs. You're right. We don't want to work anymore.
Yeah, it's not that nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work for you for fucking nothing.
Yeah.
My favorite is like McDonald's and like Walmart and all those that advertise. They're like up to $17 an hour. And it's like, what do you mean up to 17? That should be the lowest you pay.
Well, my favorite now is, I think I've talked about this before. I'm a member of a number of like local Facebook groups. Like the town I live in has a Facebook group, and the town I work in has a Facebook group and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And people will post, job positions like, hey, so and so is hiring a such and such position. Contact me to apply. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, what's it pay? Like, well, message me and we'll discuss it. No.
So no.
No.
Yeah.
And what's fun is I'm seeing it more and more now. It's not just me doing it, because I'll belittle those posts and say, if you're not willing to advertise how much you're paying shit wages, and you know it. That's the part that gets me. Is it's not like, oh, well, nobody wants to work anymore. It's you know what it is. It's the fact that you're not wanting to pay a wage. Like sorry, you think that $10 an hour is a good wage. Yeah, it was 10 years ago. $10 an hour.
10 is unlivable.
Yeah.
Just because it's still above minimum wage. That the minimum wage is what the federal government has refused to move. That's not actually the minimum wage. Minimum wage now is more like $19 an hour. And by minimum wage, I mean the bare minimum to barely make it and be able to pay rent and get food.
The cost of a 2-bedroom apartment, and this is Virginia, and this was 2 years ago is the last time I saw this study. Yeah, 2001. So yeah, 2 years ago. The average cost that it takes to be able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Virginia is $17.25. And that's it. That's just a 2-bedroom. That's a single person or a cumulative household making $17.25 to be able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment. So what that means is, if you are a single parent and you have a bedroom for your kid, you have to be making a minimum of $17.25. The minimum wage in Virginia is $15, and it's still, that's all that pays around here. Now, but what I do like is there are some Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, some of the big department stores are paying 17 to 20 some dollars an hour, depending on the position and experience, and which is shocking to me. And people are wanting to go back to work in retail because those retail jobs are paying more money than anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's depressing.
The craziest part, well, there's two crazy parts, but the most absurd part to me is they have the money. If the CEO and the board of directors, depending on the company and how large they are, if they would just take a little bit less, just a little bit less. Do you need 16 million a year? How about 14 million a year? Well, that's unlivable. I can't live on that. Oh, okay, sorry. Sorry, I tried to take a little bit of your money. Like the amount that they think they need. I think the average like CEO over, I think it's like 1,500% now. The average, how much more a CEO makes than the bottom worker at their business. I'm pretty sure it's 1,500% now.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, it used to be like it was like 200-300%, and then it went up. It was like 500, and it's just continued to rise. Now CEOs make average 1,500% more, but a lot of them make even more than that.
But they work more hours, so they should
they
get more
don't.
pay. They get
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're right. No,
CEOs are always working, right?
they're busy. They
Yeah.
gotta. You get to clock out and go home and not worry anymore.
Yeah.
They have to worry about it the entire day, and they don't get a break.
No.
They're always on the clock.
If you have to work, if you run a business, and you have to spend your entire every waking moment, from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night, all you can do is think about your business and what you can do to keep your business running. Sounds like you're a shitty business owner.
Yeah.
I said it. I'll continue to say it. As a business owner, I'll say it. The number one thing that I have with my business is that at the end of the day, at 5 o'clock when I go home, that's the end of me thinking about work.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, if
granted,
you're doing it right,
yeah.
that should be all you need to do.
Now, granted, I do have phone forwarding set up, and if one of my customers has an emergency after hours, they can call me directly. They, my bigger customers, they have my personal cell phone. So, if those things happen, that's a different case. But if you have to worry about how you're going to make payroll this Friday at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night, you have a problem.
Yeah.
That's a big business problem.
The other crazy point that I was going to say, other than CEOs making 1,500% more, like you said earlier, there are companies that pay good wages. What they don't realize is if they do that, their entire value as a business goes up.
Right.
Yeah, they take a lower percentage, but by you actually taking care of your employees and paying them what they're worth and taking a lower percentage, you taking the brunt of not, raising the prices, because then you lose customers. Number one, your price is too high, they can't afford it. But number two, they'll go to whoever's cheaper. You don't have to raise prices. Literally, if CEOs just took less money, the number one that I think of like, I wish I could go work for them, Cisco.
Oh,
The
yeah.
dude that runs Cisco, like the way they run it is so un-American. They have like weekly meetings of all the employees show up, and they get them like ice cream or pizza or whatever, and they take input, and they like have a big whiteboard, and they like take input from every employee. The CEO literally comes and goes, "All right, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
Call times are too long or whatever. All right, cool. Let's put that on the board." And they figure it out together.
What
And
can
he
we
takes
do?
a way lower percentage and pays his workers a lot. And they've literally never had a problem. They've never had a down year. They always make more money than they have before. They didn't need to raise prices. They
Well-
keep all their contracts. They keep all their workers for longer, so they have better quality work, which turns out better quality product. Because if you have one guy that's been working there for 10 years, he knows more than some fucking jack you hired off the street for minimum wage that doesn't even care about being there. Like,
Well, that's one of the things that I think gets really missed when we talk about wage earning and wage expenses in business is it costs more to pay an employee more. Of course, it's going to cost more. So the first thing is well, I can cut costs, I can cut corners by lowering my wages and paying the bare minimum of what the market will allow, and then and then on paper, oh yeah, look at how much money you're saving by you've cut everybody's pay by $1. You've made so much money by doing this, and then all of a sudden you start to have this ridiculously high turnover. Okay, yeah, you're paying these people less money, but look at the amount of time and lost productivity it takes, and just to retrain somebody.
Yeah.
If you
and the ones that stay on don't try.
Well,
your,
that too.
Your product quality goes down.
But the biggest thing is just when you look at the cost of doing business, it is so much more cost effective to pay your employees better than market value, and you end up saving on things like having to pay to train the new guy, because I'm sure you've trained people at a job before. You don't get as much done that week or that 2 weeks, however long. You're having to slow down.
Yeah, both of you now don't you slow down to train them.
Right. So now you've doubled the cost of doing business. You've doubled the cost of your payroll for that training period, when you can pay somebody an extra $1 or $2 on the hour, and you still end up paying less than what you would pay to retrain all of these employees. And these are just little things that corporations in the United States today are so short-sighted. They're so worried about that next quarterly report. That's what matters to them. We need that quarterly profit report. That's what matters. But what they should be more concerned about is, let's look at that year end. Let's look at this year over year. Let's look at the 5 years, how much you've grown. And
they need to be looking more at, like, I guess it doesn't really, this isn't going to make sense because it's across the board, but they need to be looking more at customer satisfaction.
Right.
But there is no customer satisfaction because everything you fucking buy now is garbage. All the food fucking sucks. And nothing tastes good anymore. Everything's cheap. Every phone, every electronic, everything you buy fucking breaks after a year.
Right.
Everything's
it's all
garbage.
disposable.
So it's kind of hard if you were the one company that made good quality products, but they all go back. It always goes back to the fucking light bulbs. The light bulbs company used to make high quality fucking light bulbs, and they would last forever. And it literally cost them so much money. A few of the light bulb companies went out of business.
Right.
Because, they sold the 8 that the household needed, and then that's it. They last forever. They last a lifetime. They all had to, they literally got together, the 3 light bulb companies across the world that make light bulbs got together and made their own regulation and said, you can only make your light bulbs last this many hours. If you make it last more hours than that, we will fine you.
Right. Well, that's
that's
true, and that's a good example, because that's something that's happened in my industry. Is there was a company that was producing a fire extinguisher. This company started in the late 1940s, and they produced an extremely high quality, made from American steel. This fire extinguisher, you could drop it off the back of a fucking airplane, and you could pick it up, and it would be just fine. It was indestructible. Well, starting in the 90s, you started to see the rise of the disposable economy. So other fire extinguisher manufacturers will go, okay, let's make disposable fire extinguishers. Let's make let's use cheaper quality material and undercut the cost of this really nice fire extinguisher. So you ended up with real cheap aluminum, plastic parts, that type of thing. And the other company refused to stoop to that level. They're like, nope, this is our product. Yes, it's more expensive, but look at look what you're getting, look what you're buying. And the markets were like, no, we want to. Why do what's the value of buying this? This cheap one will put out a fire just as easily as the expensive one does. And so it was a race to the bottom. And the other company was like, no, we can't do it. So they went out of business. They were the best
Yeah.
fire extinguisher on the market. They were the most they were the easiest to work on. I mean, it was just everything about them was great. They're 100% made in America, like all of the things that you want in a product in the United States. And they got beat out by a company that moved to Mexico.
Well,
And
the funny thing too is they don't even see the bigger picture. Again, it's going to get better when the boomers die out because I feel like millennials and the next generation are smarter. But the reason everything had to go cheaper, nobody could afford anything.
right,
It started back in the 80s as the
Yep.
dollar started to fall in its worth. And then instead of, increasing wages back then and keeping up with it, everyone just cut the cost of everything. Everything started to get shittier and has just continued to get shittier.
it's almost like a certain president worked really hard in cutting a lot of red tape and regulations for
Yeah.
corporations and also cut their taxes, especially on the higher end, because
Yeah.
he learned that if you take a wealthy person and you cut their taxes and make them more wealthy, they have a higher likelihood of giving you money to get reelected. Why would
Yeah.
I want to give a minimum wage job earner anything when he can't afford to give me any money towards my campaign? Meanwhile, then they figured out the idea of going, you know what? Individuals can only give $2,500 to me each election cycle. That's all they can give. Well, if we formed a corporation and let that corporation have no affiliation with me, but that corporation can campaign and spend money in my stead, and they can raise unlimited amounts of money. So now you have these huge corporations that are raising tons of money. We're going to cut their taxes because they're uber wealthy, and that money rolls right back into the politicians. That's the problem. That's the number
Yeah.
one problem in this country, is the fact that that you're allowed to have corporations run political ads and political contributions to politicians. It's number one
Yeah,
problem.
that you shouldn't be allowed to.
That's
Or there should be a cutoff at like a 50,000
Citizens
or
United. Very
something.
good.
Mhm.
That was the case that made it. The corporations are people too, but
Yeah.
they're even better than people, because a person can only give $2,500 per campaign per candidate per year.
Yeah.
Where
The other funny thing, all these politicians are making all these laws to help companies and organizations and all them to make all this money and save the most on taxes and all this stuff and keep American jobs. The thing they don't realize, the entire economy depends on everyone in that economy buying stuff. If nobody can afford stuff, it doesn't matter how much that company's going to give you if they don't make any profits.
right,
We're getting to a point nobody's going to be able to afford anything. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much you cut the costs of your goods, how much you limit your workforce, how much you lower your wages. Like, it doesn't matter all of that if nobody can afford it. They have to. You have to. It's too bad we never got Bernie, because Bernie's literally talked about this for the last fucking 30 years.
well, I mean, Bernie has campaigned on the overturning of Citizens United for as long as I can remember. Bernie running for president.
Unless he won't ever do it.
Well, he won't
Everyone
get it.
is in his way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he won't get it because, number one, I mean, I'm a Bernie supporter. I have been for a long time, but I can also, I'm also really good at looking at like the bigger picture with Bernie. And the bigger picture with Bernie is the fact that he considers himself a socialist and not a Democrat. But when it comes time to run for elections, he calls himself a Democrat. So why would the Democrats support someone that doesn't call themselves a Democrat but once every 4 years? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the biggest problem with Bernie Sanders is
Yeah. Well, and there's a ton of Democrats that are against socialism too.
well, that's true too.
Republicans more so, but yeah, he'll never win. He'll never get past the amount of lawmakers in front of him that are accepting all this money
Yep.
for doing the things that he's wanting to stop.
And now we're in the new problem, and it breaks my heart to say this, and I'm going to say it anyway. He's too old. He's
Oh,
too
yeah.
old to run.
He's like 83 now or some shit,
He's
isn't he?
he's in his late 70s, if not early 80s now.
I
And
thought he was early 80s.
and
Let's
I've
look.
said,
We'll Google it. We haven't Googled anything
yeah.
yet. Hold on.
and I've said this. It's the same problem that I have with Joe Biden. It's the same problem. Well,
81.
81. It's one of the many problems that I have with Donald Trump. Is these guys are they're number one, they're just too old. Because I look at it when you're the president of the United States, your day probably starts at 5 a.m. and your day ends probably at midnight. So you're going to get 5 hours of sleep a night. I'm in my 30s, and 5 hours of sleep a night is hard. So you take someone that's in
Imagine being 81.
Right. Imagine being in your 80s and only getting 5 hours of sleep, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Joe Biden's lost his mind." Well, motherfucker, he probably hasn't slept.
Yeah.
But it's
you try being fucking 8. Isn't Biden 80?
He's getting close.
Yeah, Biden's 80.
And they're
you try being fucking 80. Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm 34. I guess 5 hours, and when I do that, sometimes it's like fuck. Takes me out for 3 days.
Right. Right. And then they wonder why he's just endlessly babbling during press conferences. The poor dude's sleep deprived. Leave him alone. I mean, he should never have been elected anyway. But, once again, it was like, which old white guy do you want to vote for this year? And that's where we were at.
All the Republicans are like, you look what your president did. It's like, I don't fucking like Biden. What are you talking about?
That's the fun
old senile fucking.
That's the fun part about the battle between Republicans and Democrats, or just the conservatives versus liberals, because even calling ourselves Democrats makes chaps my ass sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I've said several times I don't associate myself with anything. I don't label myself.
But it's
exactly because of that. There's too much variety.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like, Well, look at the things that he said. Trump said stupid things, but so did Joe Biden. I'm like, yeah, I agree.
Every dude over 60 years old is saying some dumb shit.
And
he barely remembers how to play bingo. You think he's ready to run an entire country?
Yeah, and he might have been, could have been, probably would have been a good president 20 years ago. He might have been. Yeah, Biden might have been good. Yeah. He had
Maybe.
a good. He had a.
Did he do anything as vice president? I don't remember.
I don't.
Too focused on Obama just fucking knocking it out of the park for the most part. He did some dumb shit too. But
I don't recall any of the things that you can attribute to just Joe Biden as a vice president. He did some pretty conservative shit as a Democrat in the 90s. And which was the difference between a 1990s Democrat versus a 2023 Democrat. A Democrat in the 1990s would be a Republican of today. The Democratic Party both parties have shifted so far from the center that they're almost unrecognizable over the last 20 to 25 years. All of the people that were, if you remember after 9/11, when we authorized the war powers to be able for us to go to Afghanistan and Iraq, everybody voted for that, except Ron Paul and Bernie Sanders. They didn't vote for them. My two boys.
Yeah.
But everybody else voted for them. And if you take those same, and unfortunately, there's still Democrats that are of that era are still in fucking Congress. If that happened again, they'd never vote for it. They would never. Yeah, they would never vote to authorize going into Iraq or Afghanistan or any of those things today. Never going to happen. But back then, it was everybody did. That was just normal.
Yeah. Again, everything will be fixed when the boomers die off.
I'm waiting
We're
patiently.
getting there. We're getting close. They're all like 60, 70. We just have to push them out. There should be a cutoff on both sides. You shouldn't be able to be president until you're at least 35.
Right.
But you also shouldn't be able to continue to be president if you're 60. I've been saying for years you should have to take a driving test every year. The age after you hit 60.
Agreed.
They should make you go back in and fucking test. I've seen some wild fucking shit old people.
Oh, I agree. I'm completely for it. I think
but they can run the whole country. They can't even drive themselves to the grocery store without being a hazard to everyone on the roadway.
Right.
But they can barely fucking walk to the bathroom and wipe their own ass because they're just barely able to function. But you want them to run the whole country. Okay.
There was a video taken of Senator Maxine Waters of California. She's in her late 70s, early 80s. I mean, she's ancient. And the video started out with, I don't know what the vote was for. It was just for some floor vote for something. it came time to vote. Her aides like shuffled her into the Senate floor,
Oh yeah, I think I've seen this.
and you can watch the video. They lean in and they're talking into her ear, and it's obvious they are telling her which button to push to vote.
Yeah, she doesn't even know what room. She's like, "We're playing bingo. Which
Yeah.
one?"
Exactly. And then once she voted, they shuffled her back out to take her back to her office or at wherever it was they were taking her. And as she's leaving, one of the cameras catches her asking her aides, like, "What am I doing here? Like, what was I voting for?"
You're
And
playing bingo, man.
yeah.
Just go back
And-
to your room.
yeah, and it's like that's a huge problem, and it's not just her. I mean,
No,
it's
There's a lot of them.
there's a lot of them. There was a pharmacist a few years ago that did some expose with some news organization, and he's like, I can't say who it is because of HIPAA laws and stuff, but he's like, I can tell you that just in my pharmacy, there was 3 politicians in the United States Congress that were taking Alzheimer's medication. That was just a part of his pharmacy. And so who knows how many other pharmacies were in D.C. and how many others had this issue. So you've got these people that are so old they're on Alzheimer's medications, and you want them running this country? Like, remember, these are the same ones that were asking about how shit affected their Wi-Fi during the TikTok hearings, which I think that was the biggest mistake these old politicians have made.
They really thought they got him.
Well, not only that, but they were just. This was a big thing for the Republicans, and unfortunately, my Democratic senator here in Virginia, Mark Warner, is pushing for the TikTok ban, and I have sent my letters and made my phone calls because it's bullshit. But I think that's a huge problem that they're going to face come next election cycle. You pissed off a lot of young people. You pissed off a lot of young people when you said that we're gonna ban TikTok, and they're like 150 million Americans.
It's all we have to escape this fucking garbage reality you've left us with. As all of you at the top just continue to sit on your beaches sipping your margaritas and leaving us with nothing. We can't even afford fucking groceries.
Yeah.
And then you're like, we're gonna take away the one thing that distracts you.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. We'll see how that goes
Well-
when we have nothing else to do but fucking.
And Mystery, to answer your question, could that be a precaution? It's possible, but if you're taking Alzheimer's medications as a precaution, it means that you're high risk for Alzheimer's. That just continues to be like, you shouldn't be in Congress at 70 years old. If
Yeah.
you're high risk for it or you have it, either way, doesn't matter. You shouldn't be there. But when Donald Trump was running for election in 2020, there was a TikTok campaign that was TikTokers were getting together and making these videos saying, hey, Donald Trump is coming to Salt Lake City to give a campaign rally. The tickets to get in are free. All you have to do is go on the website and reserve however many tickets you want to be able to attend. You can go for free. So what they were doing is they were getting people to just to go to the website and claim all the tickets. So it'd be like, oh yeah, it's sold out, man. All the tickets are claimed. There's nobody, there's no way to get tickets. And then he comes out on stage and there's like 7 people.
Yeah,
And-
I think there was like 3,000 people there or something.
Yeah.
Like
That
like nobody.
that right there is why we're banning TikTok. That's it, right there.
Yeah.
Because
No, why did we talk about? No, the reason they actually want to ban TikTok is because Facebook and
oh yeah, that's true
all
too.
these advertising companies cannot make money.
Yeah.
Nobody's clicking on Facebook posts or videos.
Yeah.
Nobody's using Instagram. Nobody's using Elon, and Twitter's his own fucking thing. But
Yeah, he's
all
fucking a
this
Twitter on his
money,
own.
yeah, all this money that's going to Singapore, not China, because the
China.
majority is TikTok is out of
China.
Singapore. Yes, their parent company is in China, but okay, do you want to start talking about parent companies? Fuck, don't get me started on the amount of things that Amazon or Google owns.
Well-
If you want to talk about the parent companies of America, there's only like 5 parent companies that own everything in America.
Well, my favorite thing about that situation was the Congress members going, we can't have TikTok giving away national secrets to China. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So
You
what-
mean the ones that are uploading the national secrets in Discord servers?
Yeah, that. But no, what I like is like, no. We don't want China getting their hands on these secrets. And like what we really want is Facebook to be able to sell them to China, which is what they do.
Yeah. No, the amount of stuff I had when I lost my job a few years ago, I had to figure out how to make money. So I started a Facebook ad account and I was selling products online, and the amount of stuff that Facebook has on you is fucking shocking.
Yeah, it's actually quite
I
alarming.
can go in there and I can say, show this ad to every 34-year-old mother that has 3 kids, lives in Ohio, shops at this particular grocery store, is a Mormon. Like I can dial in specifically,
Right.
like the amount of stuff that Facebook has on you and sells to advertisers like me at the time.
Yeah.
It's nothing compared to what TikTok tracks on you. TikTok just has a really good fucking algorithm that knows exactly how to show you what you want.
Right. And
Like, have you ever been talking near your phone about like fucking a trampoline, and then you load up Facebook and all of a sudden you're like, dang, why did all these trampoline ads showing up all of a sudden? It's not because TikTok tracked your eye movement for a fucking snap filter. It's because Facebook runs 24/7 in the background listening to your conversations.
I
So
think
it has nothing to do with China. It has nothing to do with data security. It has everything to do with who's making the money from selling the data.
I think the
Facebook and Google are taking a fucking beating from TikTok.
Oh yeah. Well, I think what's funny is all of these things that they were accusing TikTok of doing. I can just see some of these app makers like at Meta or at Alphabet going, "Oh fuck, that's a good idea. Tracking
Yeah, write that
eye dilation on advertisements. Got it.
Yeah, we should do that.
Fucking genius. Like, nobody does that. But see, that's the funny part is when the comparison between TikTok and Facebook. You can load up TikTok and never make a video, never make any of those things, and just use it as to passively consume content.
Mm-hmm.
There's no data on that. There's no big harvestable information that you can get from that except wow, this
Well, they know what you watch and how long you
Yeah.
watch it.
this Q-stick guy really has a thing for Apex videos and pimple popping.
Yeah. I'll tell you, TikTok does not know that I'm 34 and have 2 kids and am married. TikTok doesn't know that.
Yeah.
TikTok knows what I like to watch,
Yeah.
and they'll show me that. They know what to advertise to me. Facebook knows my age, where I live, my zip code, how many cars I own,
Yep.
what kind of cars I own. Facebook will track everything. Google knows that too. Like, it has nothing to do with the data security, and the way
Right.
that they've tried to frame that and make it seem like that is part of it is like
Yeah.
it is laughable.
And the fact that real national secrets are getting shared in Discord
In
servers,
Discord servers.
or
Did you hear about that? The fucking dude that he works at the Pentagon. He's lower down. He's not
Yeah.
like a super high security level, but he does have access to some stuff. He was in a Minecraft server.
Yep, that's what
On
on
Discord.
Minecraft server.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which it has like a few hundred people that all play Minecraft. They get together, and he had been like bragging. It sounds like Q's heard about this, but I'm telling to the rest of you that haven't
Yeah.
heard about it. He had been bragging that I'm some big shot. I have Pentagon access and this and that. And like everyone in the server was like clowning on him, like fucking no, you don't. You
Yeah.
live in your mom's basement. Shut
Exactly.
the fuck up.
Prove it, neckbeard.
And he's like, all right, here. How about this fucking top secret
Mm.
video from Ukraine? I think that was one of the first things he shared.
Oh, there
And
was
then
some-
he shared like military plans of like in different us sending this and that and like
I think the one thing that that really got me was he shared I don't know if it was the video, the audio, or just a document that was a conversation that Vladimir Putin was having with one of his aides in Vladimir Putin's office. It was Vladimir Putin and one aide.
I think it was an audio file.
Yeah, and that was all that was in that room, which means that if the aide wasn't doing the recording, and Putin wasn't doing the recording, it means that we had an actual old school James Bond bug in the in the room recording the audio. And it once again, it's the same thing that happened when Chelsea Manning shared all the documents back then. It really showed the capabilities of what we're doing and what we know about. And the fact that we've talked about how we don't think that Ukraine is, was able to, is going to be able to accomplish what they say they're able to accomplish. And there's a bunch of black eyes that we took because of this. And yeah, this guy will probably
I'm pretty sure.
end up in the same.
I'm pretty
same
sure he
cell.
just like, I think he was just an IT guy or something, if I remember right. Like,
Yeah, I think
he's
he
not.
was
He's
IT.
not actually like that special, but he did have a way to access some files,
Well,
and he shared them on the Discord to prove that he.
yeah, I think it was IT, and it wasn't that he had firsthand access to these things. It was just because you are an IT guy, you need to have access to these computers to be able to be like, okay, did you try turning it on and off again? And that was his level of access to it, and that just gives you access.
Yeah.
But then it comes back to that this guy was young too. He was like 18, 19 years old. It's like, well, are you surprised that why are we giving Uber clearances to 18, 19-year-old kids? I mean, these are kids.
Next, they're gonna try to ban Discord. They're gonna be, look what happens in Discord. Like they understand so little.
Yeah. Well, I
Of
mean,
like, if you take TikTok away, that solves nothing. There's going to be another platform that swoops in,
yeah,
and again uses that same algorithm to deliver top tier content and takes the attention of all, every generation that's not a boomer. Like,
right. Yeah. I think what the fun part that is really going unspoken when it comes to these TikTok things is the amount of times that you hear these senators going, "Oh, it's just dancing little girls. Why do we need to have dancing little girls, on the internet?" And I'm sitting here going, "All right, I use
That's-
TikTok. I use TikTok daily. There's times that
yeah, I
I
don't see
spend,
dancing girls.
I spend 7 to 10 hours a day on TikTok sometime, and I can tell you that I don't see dancing 13-year-olds on my TikTok. And if all they're seeing is dancing 13-year-old girls on their TikTok accounts."
Yeah, tells you everything. I love how they called
Yeah.
themselves out too, because they
Maybe it's a little
understand
bit more
so
than that.
little.
Yeah, maybe it's a little bit more than what you're trying to say it is, and that's just completely getting lost. It's like
Yeah.
currently, like I was on it earlier, I was watching a bunch of tornado videos which I think is amazing now thanks to the internet. We're getting to see these, terrifying acts of nature happening in real time, and these people are like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I'll just fucking
flooding
film
and
it,"
tornadoes
Yeah.
and fucking yeah.
and it's just like, but that's the shit that I see on my TikTok. I don't see,
Yeah.
I-
That's a good segue to get off of the politics for a second, because I watched a video last night that I have not stopped thinking about.
okay. Which one?
I thought about making it my cream of the week, and I was like, I can't make a TikTok my cream of the week, but it was so fucking funny.
You
It
should.
was so good. It was so fucking good. I can't stop thinking about it. I laugh for like 20 fucking minutes. Like, so it's a guy, and he's driving his truck, and then like you realize, oh, he's driving his truck on the bike lane. There's like a regular road and there's a bike lane road. And then comes these two guys come into view in the road, and they're both on bikes. And then you're like, oh, okay, so that's why he's driving in the bike lane. And then he like speeds up and catches up with him, and as he's driving past him, this is when you realize it's out of Australia. Because he goes, what's the fucking point of spending all this money if you're not going to use it, you dumb cunts? And like, this the fucking I need to find it again. I'll have to send it to you. I'll put it in the Discord too. But dude, it's so fucking funny. This Australian dude driving his truck down the fucking bike lane because there's two bikes in the roadway, and then he yells out the window at him. Like, I don't. It just fucking tickled me the right way. Like, it was so fucking funny. I only watched it one time, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Like,
Yeah,
and they're trying to take that away from me.
yeah.
Because on their TikTok they see dancing little girls.
Exactly. I will say that there needs to be, there needs to be oversight for these websites. Excuse me, these websites. They need to really enforce these age restrictions, and I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I think 13 years old is too young to be able to access TikTok.
Well, the
Um,
TikTok's pretty smart. Even if you put your incorrect age, TikTok kind of figures it out
right. And
and it'll kind of alter the content you see.
right,
Facebook does the same thing. It can figure it out, but it still just shows you everything, anything in every ad.
right. But I don't know the best way to create that oversight that's needed because I did read an article today that was about um it was some TikTok challenge where there was some over the counter drug that you can get at like CVS, and if you take 10 or 15 of them, it causes like this hallucinogenic experience, and that's what these
Yeah.
kids were doing. And this kid ended up in the hospital on a ventilator because he OD'd on this stuff, and it ended up his parents took him off life support and he died. Like, okay, I fully understand and respect the fact that there are things that are happening on these social media sites and apps that is harmful to kids. But on the other hand, too, there needs to be some oversight. There needs to be some education, and I don't have an answer to like what's the best answer, the best way to fix that.
Yeah. Twitter had the best answer before Elon took over. Twitter had such a good because Twitter there was challenges and bullshit videos like that shared on Twitter as well.
Right,
But up until Elon took over, Twitter had such a smart way of identifying and warning you about when you watch content like that.
right. Well,
Because Twitter has everything. You can watch fucking porn and fucking beheadings. And everything's on Twitter, but there's always warnings, content warnings,
right,
and stuff like that would say, "Hey, this is super dangerous. Like,
right.
don't do that." Like, that doesn't pop up on like a Facebook or even on TikTok. There's
I
no
know
pop up that says, "Hey, don't do this challenge."
I know one of the things that we need is we do need better moderators. And
Yeah.
I know that, TikTok is doing, and I've seen ads for, moderators on TikTok and moderators for Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. Not Twitter lately, but
Yeah, Twitter's
that's
going down.
that's something that can be done to help. Then you get a lot of people butthurt going, "Oh, this is my First Amendment that you're messing with." No, it's not. Private companies cannot affect your First Amendment right. Last time, yeah, I've been there too, Rabble. But we do need more oversight. We do need more regulation. We do need to keep these things from happening because it does happen. You see these kids doing stupid shit like, oh, do ghost driving and ride around without your headlights on and, climb out of your car and drive with your feet and shit like that. And then all of a sudden the people wreck and they're thrown from their car and they're like, oh, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But-
it's twofold. Social media sites like Facebook and TikTok and Twitter and the likes like that, they make it a little easier to spread, but it's also existed since the inception of the internet.
Right.
It's also existed since even before then.
Right. Well,
There's been other challenges and stuff from when we were younger, but it was a lot harder to spread across the entire school.
but they
know.
still, but things like that still spread. I
Yeah.
can say, when you were a kid, did you ever hear about or do the Bloody Mary thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like everyone did.
yeah.
But how did it spread?
How did
It
you
was
know
on
about it?
social media,
Yeah.
but
It wasn't on
we
social.
all
Yeah.
heard, I don't.
Yeah, it was on social media. How did you knowing about it in Utah, and me knowing about it in Virginia, at a time
Yeah.
where social media didn't exist?
Well, how did we
You
all
know?
hear that Marilyn Manson took out his ribs so he
That's
could suck
another
his
one.
own dick?
Yeah, that's another one. I don't know where that came up. Like, who came up? Number
Yeah.
one, who came up with that? And then number
Yeah.
two, how did it spread so quickly across the entire? Every kid knew that. Every kid in 1998 knew that Marilyn Manson removed a rib so he could suck his dick, even though that's not true and it's not a thing. But every kid knew that.
Yeah.
You know,
You know what's not on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok that you can't find because all of them, even Twitter, will block this kind of stuff. But you know what I saw probably 15, 20 years ago, early days of the internet. I found a site. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called Yellow something. But I saw beheadings. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
I saw a kid, probably like 16 or 17. I'll never forget. I can picture it right now. I saw a kid hang himself in his bathtub and just wriggle and the
Oh yeah.
last breath leave out of him. I saw the craziest fucking shit. The Pain Olympics, the fucking all the stuff that we've seen.
Right. But and that was in the early days of the internet, and that was through forums
Well,
and
and you had
chat
to have
rooms.
the link. There was no
Yeah.
like, yeah,
You
you
had
had to
to
share the link.
yeah, or you had to know to go to that website, the Faces of Death or the Encyclopedia Dramatica. These
Yeah.
are the things that yeah, I remember being a senior in high school. So this was either in 2003 or 2004, and when the Taliban was putting out those beheading videos.
Yeah.
I not only do I remember watching the beheading videos at 16, 17 years old, I also remember watching them in class,
Yeah,
in
live
in
leak.
school, before there was any form of
Yeah,
parental
no
controls in
blocking
school.
or
Yeah,
anything. Yeah. So
I
yeah, I get they want to talk and they want to say, it's for the kids and safe like, but also I feel like you can still find that stuff, but it's so much harder to find that stuff now. You can still find it though.
yeah.
I'm not saying you're not going to have your kid go on, and if they want to find a beheading video, they're not going to. If they want to, they can find it.
I've there for a while. I ended up on Cartel Talk on TikTok, and I mean, I don't know how I got there. I don't know what the algorithm. I mean, like I said, the TikTok algorithm is amazing because did I watch every single one of those cartel videos? I sure did.
Yeah.
But they were going through they were processing opium plants, making heroin. They were they were killing off
Just
rival
loading it up,
yeah
uploading all these videos
yeah
of
they would make a TikTok of them going over to some rival cartel's territory and grabbing one of the soldiers off the street and cutting their head off and posting it on TikTok. And I'm like, how did I get here? I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but how did I get here? But yeah, it's just it is a lot of that content is harder to find, but that's because honestly, I believe it has a lot to do with the current generations don't care about that.
Yeah. Well, and like you have to go out of your way to get to it now. Like
Yeah.
a lot of just browsers will block it.
right,
Google Chrome and trying to go to Google and type in beheading video, it's not going to show it to you.
right.
You're gonna have to find it a different way.
Yeah, you'll have to
Like,
go through another search engine like DuckDuckGo or something like that
yeah.
to be able to
But
find it.
the problem isn't that it's available. The problem is them acting like it's only just now available
Mm.
and trying to blame TikTok.
Yeah.
No, it's been available since the internet started. The first website made was probably a Hello World. Isn't the internet crazy? The second website was some garbage form of like communication, social media. The third website was probably porn. The fourth one was probably fucking LiveLeak or
The-
some version of LiveLeak where
uh,
you'd share the most fucked up shit you've ever seen in your life.
Even to this day, the number one highest grossing industry, like the most money in an industry on the internet, is porn by miles. I
Yeah.
mean, miles and miles, and not just in what people are paying for subscriptions and things like that, but they include like, okay, what are you paying the performers and like all the production costs and all these things, and it's a huge, huge, huge industry, and it's an industry
Yeah.
that's been going on for
Forever.
forever.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
before the internet, even.
but
Porn and
there was silent movies. There was nudie silent movies and
well, living in Western days, there's fucking peep shows
Yeah.
and fucking yeah. At
adult
least I've heard. I
entertainment
wasn't
is,
there, so
yeah. I mean, but I would totally go if I could.
concubines
yeah.
back in fucking the dynasty, like early China dynasty days, like fucking
One of the things I think is interesting.
sex sells.
Well, one of the things I think is interesting about pornography and adult entertainment of today,
Yeah.
is number one, it is more mainstream than it used to be. Like it's not that big of a deal to talk about either consuming porn or making porn or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, yeah, OnlyFans is a fucking.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
now.
Well, it's like, oh well, I lost my job. Guess I'll go show feet pics, and it's just like, oh yeah, and we laugh at it, but it's like, I guarantee everybody that's listening to this knows at least one person that has either creating content on OnlyFans or knows them
Or
using
buying content.
yeah, or buying content on OnlyFans. But then it's just, and the whole attitude towards it, like it's not called porn, or it's called sex work, and we're normalizing prostitution and things like that. And I mean, honestly, I think it should. Prostitution is called the oldest profession. It's been around for a long, long time.
The more, which is so funny, they don't understand this for like abortion and stuff. The more you legalize it, the more regulated it becomes,
Yeah.
and the more safe it is on both sides
Right.
for the workers and the partakers.
There's,
But
especially in Nevada and all of their brothels and things like that, there is so much regulation. There's, if you're gonna be working at a brothel, that you have to submit to blood tests and STD panels and all these things that was never a thing 20, 30 years ago.
yeah, well, I think most industry porn stars, depending how big you are and what company you work for, you have to get like monthly, weekly tested for different things. Yeah, like it's so much safer and better for them.
Right. Although I think my favorite piece of like porn trivia is the fact that the amount of sexual dysfunction that men end up with after coming out of the porn industry, because they've spent they spent years of creating pornography and creating porn content using Viagra and other stimulants that after pornography their bodies are just fucking ruined, and they can't
It's fucked. Yeah.
they can't do anything because of it now.
Those poor guys. They're like professional football players. They're never
Yeah.
the same.
They're never the same. It's instead of
the one that
CTE,
blows me
it's
away,
ED.
Yeah, ED. the porn fact that I learned that I still don't believe. I refuse to believe. Mia Khalifa trying to say that she only earned $12,000 for all the stuff she did.
Bullshit.
That's what I say. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
No.
How?
She may have only claimed $12,000.
Oh, okay.
but-
Maybe she's trying to. Maybe the IRS is coming after her. She's like, I got to get ahead of this.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. Like,
There's
I don't know. I don't even know if I've ever seen any of her stuff. I just know there's a lot of it. I might have seen a video or two.
I feel like
I've
Mia
never like
Khalifa
looked it up though.
is like a Gen Z era
Yeah.
when you're a porn star.
But she's a name that we all know.
Right. Because I don't even know what she looks like. And I'm not even trying to say that to be like, haha, I don't watch porn. No, I'm just going to say this. I don't know what she looks
No,
like.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think all Indians look the same. I get what you're saying.
Is she Indian?
Pretty sure.
Oh, once again, like I didn't know.
She's Lebanese.
Lebanese. Oh, okay, so she's Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't know. I will say that I'm not a fan of her porn. I'm a fan of her as a person, and judge me if you want. I don't give a shit. I fucking love Riley Reid. She's on TikTok now, and she has,
Riley Reid's so cool.
and she's so funny.
I don't really watch that much of her stuff. It's kind of like,
No, it doesn't do it at
It's
all.
not great.
Like, yeah,
but you're right.
yeah,
she's fucking
she's-
cool.
well, back when, remember during the Australian wildfires? This was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
She did a thing where it's like, if you donate to some Australian wildlife fund, you email her a copy of the receipt, and she would send you like a custom
Yeah, I
photo.
remember she'd send you his first. Yeah.
I have one.
porn thing.
I was like, this
Oh,
can't
you
be
have
real.
one?
Oh hell yeah, yeah. So
I swear we
I'm
talked
still
about
proud
it
of
on
that. Like,
Pigspot. How long have we been doing Pigspot?
we've been doing Pigspot for
I
at
swear
least
you.
10
I
years.
swear you told me.
Yeah.
I swear you told me that before.
But yeah, it's just
I totally forgot about her for a long time, and that to bring this back around to video games. You know what reminded me of her like a few years ago? Cliffy B tweeted about her,
Mhm.
and he tweeted out, I didn't expect to wake up this morning, and the first thing I see when I load up Twitter is Riley Reid licking the ass of somebody else. I was like, wait a minute, what is he talking about? And I went and looked up the video,
well,
and then I was like, oh, she's on Twitter?
yeah, I've seen videos of her, doing like porn content while playing Fortnite. Like she
Yeah.
does. She's a gamer, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love her so much. But
Yeah.
she's incredibly funny.
She's cool.
Yeah, and I hope I hope that she.
So many porn actresses and the actors are so fucking weird. Like they're just odd
Well,
people.
you'd have to be. I
I
mean,
guess. But Riley she's not weird though. I don't know.
she's absolutely weird. I mean,
Okay.
it takes a.
She's not awkward though.
No, I won't say that. But I mean, there would have to be some weird personality trait or a high level of confidence to be able to do what they do in front of a camera, and be
Yeah.
able to do it in front of camera. You know,
Yeah.
and
And then share it with
yeah,
everyone.
and then share it, and then the next step too. And I mean, there was Riley posted a TikTok talking about that. You know, that her dad has seen her porn, and her dad was just like, oh yeah, it's funny and all this, and it's like, okay, not only is it normalized so much that you're willing to talk about it just in everyday life, but you shared it with your father. Your father knows what's going on. Your father doesn't care. Hell, he's probably
Yeah.
he's probably benefiting from it, the amount of money that she's made. But but I agree
feel
too.
like
It needs
it's-
to be normalized.
I feel like it's that TikTok I shared on our fucking Facebook group about the 80-year cycles.
Yeah.
I feel like porn normalization has also kind of followed those cycles.
Yeah.
Because I swear it was more normalized back in the day. Like everyone just like, oh yeah, I'm going to the brothel. All right, I'll meet you
Yeah.
at the saloon after or whatever. And then it got to a point where it was like stigmatized and like went underground. And then it's like come back up now. Now it's getting
Well,
more normalized.
it-
And
it
there's
went-
so many girls that are like, oh yeah, I'm on OnlyFans if you check me out.
It went underground, especially during the rise of the right wing evangelicals in politics. Especially through the 80s and early 90s, when you had the Jerry Falwells and the Pat Robertsons and those types of people that were televangelists on television, and they were participating in government in one way or the other. They were politicking from the pulpit, those types of things, which should be a fucking crime. But
Yeah.
once
Don't even get me started on religious leaders and making money.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But no, but that's I think that's where a lot of that happened is they drove it back underground again, and it's it's taboo again. But then you look at other you look at other religions, like what the Catholic Church is going through right now, and all of this information coming out about all of the sexual abuse that the different children that were a part of the church
Yeah.
had gone through, and how they everyone knew it. It was like the worst kept secret in Catholicism. Was like
Everyone knew, and we also knew that they knew.
yeah, and like
They-
Father Johnny has diddled a kid. Well, let's just transfer him across the country where nobody knows who he is, instead of
Yeah.
dealing with it. And it's so systemic, and I hope that it becomes more public, and I hope these people get fucking roasted, and straight up murdered for their contributions to that. But
Yeah, they'll just get transferred.
they'll just get
I thought we were
transferred.
talking about video games.
Yeah,
but-
we say let's talk about video games. Now we're talking about fucking sexual assault and Catholicism.
Well, I didn't want to go too long. We did such a long episode last week.
Yeah,
Although
yeah,
I
no, I
figure
was-
we should get to our cream of the weeks.
Yeah, you go first, because I don't know what my cream of the
Okay.
week is.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not the TikTok video, even though that was fucking. I need to watch it again. It was so great. But, and it's not an anime.
Okay,
It's sort of an anime though.
right.
Yeah, one heck of a segue. That's what
Yeah,
we're
that's-
professionals.
Yeah,
Segues.
absolutely. We make mad money doing this.
Oh,
Scamazon pays us really well.
they really do. No, I've been watching, and I said I was going to watch it last week, and it fits perfectly for the same reason I like anime. Those 20, 23-minute fucking episodes. I've been watching the shit out of Rebels.
I told
And
you.
let me
Told
say
you,
two
so good.
things about Rebels. Number
You're
one,
gonna say it. I know you are.
Sabine's a fucking badass, and I really hope they nothing against the actress, but the actress they picked, yeah, she sort of looks like Sabine, but I feel like she doesn't give off that same badass energy that Sabine has. I feel like
I hope.
I'll
that-
wait till the show's out,
Right.
To but
I think that's definitely a concern. But once again, when
like she doesn't
we
she
have to-
doesn't look like somebody obsessed with explosives. That's all.
well, she's matured. You know,
Oh,
she's
okay.
gone from, you know, where can I blow up the
Sabine
next
doesn't
thing?
mature. What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, you know, she ends up having, I don't want to say a romantic relationship because that's not what happened, but
Yeah.
her and Ezra become really close as the seasons progress.
Boo.
And whether it is a, you know, implied romantic relationship or
Yeah.
you know, brother sister, like, you know, he's like her brother
What are you
type.
doing,
Yeah,
stepsister?
whatever, however you want it to be. um but she really, really does care about him, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
And
Well, you can get it early on.
yeah,
She cares about him. Well, I don't know. She's different as a Mandalorian.
right. Well, she
She
was
cares so much
excommunicated from.
about a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is funny. Their family like is one of the huge families of Mandalore, and then
yeah,
she's no longer a part. She's no longer a Mandalorian. Like she is, but she's not.
right. Um, I think once again we have to trust the process. We have to trust that F to
Oh,
do.
well, that was the second thing I was gonna say. Number two, I I love Favreau. I fucking love Favreau. He will always be one of my favorite creators. I'll watch anything he makes. Even if The Lion King, the live action version, was a fucking shit show, you can't blame Favreau for that. Disney needs to stop trying to do live action remakes.
God, I agree.
They've never good.
It's
You
got to
can't blame
stop.
Favreau for the Lion King one. Don't you dare try to blame F for that.
I didn't even know he was a part of it.
Yeah, he was. But
I hadn't even seen it either, so there's that.
you're. I've only watched a little bit of it. I tried. I like Favreau, but watching Rebels, and I haven't watched Clone Wars, and I might go back. We'll see.
Clone
And watch
Wars is a
Clone
slog.
Wars.
It's tough to get
I
through.
might, but Rebels is so fucking good, and you feel every bit of Filoni.
Right.
You feel Filoni deep inside you, and you just want him to get deeper. You know what I mean? Like there are some episodes of Rebels where it's kind of cheesy and like, oh, the thing happened and now our ships broke down and like you're like, yeah, okay. Like
Yeah.
there's some cheesy stuff too, but there's also a lot of really good, storytelling. There's always some shit happening every episode. And
Where are you?
very feet I'm almost at the end of season 2. I
Okay.
do want to talk about that too. The episode I just watched had some of the coolest fucking shit I've ever seen. Like, I just watched the one where you meet Hera's dad,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
they were doing the run where they were trying to steal the ship transporter, wherever the
Mhm.
fuck. But dude, the shit that Ezra and Kanan did,
Mhm.
where Kanan threw Ezra because like all the doors were shutting,
Mhm.
so he like forced through Ezra, and then Ezra reached back and then forced like pulled Kanan to shoot through all the fucking doors
Mhm.
so he could go kill the stormtroopers on the other side. Like fucking dude, there's so many good characters in Rebels. Like
I
that was the other thing I want to talk about. Like the way the last couple episodes of Mandalorian are lining up, you almost have to watch Rebels. I feel like I've gotten
yes.
so much more out of it because I've watched Rebels.
Yes. You will get so much more out of Ahsoka and the end of Mando because of Rebels, and that's
Yeah.
because it's, you know, it's all part of the Filoni verse.
Yeah,
And
the Filoni setting it up.
Yeah.
I totally felt it on that last episode of Mandalorian. I guess we'll wait till Mandalorian finishes and then we'll do a spoiler cast. I really want to talk about that last episode of Mandalorian. It's so fucking good. Did
yeah,
you see
was.
it?
Oh hell yeah.
Dude, the fucking scene, the 1 10-second scene where they all get blasted off and all the Mandalors are like floating down to the
Mhm.
dude, it was so fucking cool. It was like,
When
I got
all
a
the
chub on.
when the you'll see it when you get into because once you complete Rebels, as soon as you finish Rebels, you have to watch season 7 of Clone Wars. Even if you don't watch seasons 1 through 6, fine, whatever. You need to watch.
Maybe I'll do that then because I don't really
Yeah.
want to watch all of it.
I mean, it helps because it sets up some of the bigger themes and whatnot. But you do need to watch season 7 of Clone Wars because it fills out some story arcs and completes some things and really sets up, especially Ahsoka.
The Filoniverse.
Yeah, it sets up Ahsoka and how she feels and her motivations and all these things.
Yeah.
But then you
I'm really hoping Ahsoka's good. I wasn't
It will be.
I wasn't looking, as much forward to Ahsoka. I don't know how to word that. English is weird. Whatever. You know what I mean. I wasn't looking forward as much for. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. I
I got
wasn't
you.
really that excited for Ahsoka before I watched Rebels, and I've only seen her in Rebels. She's only been on screen twice so far,
She shows up in
and
later on in the
yeah,
run.
I know she comes, and I haven't seen Bo-Katan at all yet, but the one episode she's on, you're like, holy fuck, like Ahsoka's super powerful.
Yeah, and she was, and you won't. I mean, you need to. Disney Plus has a playlist that you can watch that will catch you up on everything Mandoverse related.
Yeah.
It'll show you like it starts with the Clone Wars, and there's like various episodes through the Clone Wars that talk about the Mandalorians and the Mandalorian battles and Ahsoka and why Ahsoka is the way she is, and then the same thing, it has like the important stuff through Rebels and setting all that up, and then it gets into Mando and Book of Fett and stuff like that, continuing to set up Ahsoka. So there's
Yeah.
some stuff there, but um, when you get basically, I like to say it like this: Ahsoka is just going to be Star Wars Rebels season 5.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
That's what
fine.
it seems like.
It's perfectly
And I'm
fine.
yeah, I'm totally fine with that. But
Uh,
I was already 100% on board. I'm 120% on
Wait.
board with Filoni verse
Wait till you meet
after
Thrawn.
watching.
Wait till you
Yeah,
finally meet
I
Thrawn.
haven't seen him yet.
That's season 3. I think it's either season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it might be season 4. But
Well, now, see, I wouldn't have known who he was before you told me. Like in the last episode of Mandalorian, they mention him.
right,
We won't say anything more besides that, but
of
they
course, he's
mention
been
him.
mentioned multiple
Again,
times in Mando.
again, setting up the Filoniverse. Ultimately, Ahsoka and the next season of Mandalorian, and then ultimately the Filoni movie. But like, dude, Filoni knows Star Wars. Like, whether you like the prequels or whatever the fuck, George Lucas knew what he was doing by bringing Filoni on.
Right.
He saw the correct talent, not somebody just talented, but somebody who was a mega fucking fan,
Yep.
loves Star Wars.
That has a
And he's
passion
like,
for
that
it."
guy is fucking talented. He knows how to make a story, and he loves Star Wars. We need that guy, and thank God they have Filoni.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's
basically all I'm saying is if you haven't watched Rebels, you need to watch Rebels because it's so fucking good.
even if you don't watch Clone Wars, you really
Yeah,
should.
don't watch Clone Wars.
I mean, we watch Clone Wars because after the second season, once like they finally established everything that's going on, like this is
Yeah.
once all the like the mood is set for Clone Wars, it gets really good.
Is
And
Clone Wars before up till like the later season of Clone Wars? Is it before Rebels and then
Yes.
it kind of ties into meeting up with Rebels?
yeah, so Clone Wars takes place. It starts out between episodes 2 and 3. You get to the end of one of the last episodes in season 6 of Clone Wars is Anakin and Ahsoka are parting ways, and he's
Yeah.
saying that, I'm going to go. You go deal with this over here. Obi-Wan and I are going to go rescue Chancellor Palpatine, because it leads into episode 3, which opens with Obi-Wan and Anakin rescuing Palpatine from Count Dooku. And so you have that going on, and then season 7 of Rebels then takes place immediately after episode 3. And then
Yeah.
once Clone Wars once Rebels ends, they pick up a final season of Clone Wars. So you have
Okay.
Clone Wars 1 through 6 seasons, then you have Rebels, and then you have season 7 of Clone Wars.
Okay.
And
I
then
wonder, was Clone Wars the first animated Star Wars?
It's the first
I don't know.
animated Star Wars that's still considered canon. There was some cartoony things that were going on in the 90s that were original trilogy-esque based. Um,
1985 to 1986, there was animated called Star Wars Droids. It
yeah,
was C-3PO and
yeah.
R2-D2. And then
Um,
there was the Ewoks in 87.
there was some other animated stuff, but it wasn't. I don't know if it just
It was
did.
just like one-off shoots, like
Yeah.
one season of this and that.
Right. There wasn't anything that was like really adding to the canon, because the only things that really added to the canon after Return of the Jedi was the books.
Yeah.
The EU.
So they were just
expanded
like
universe.
they're just showing you like side stories that really they weren't important.
Well, it's not that.
Because I was wondering if that's why, like, maybe there's two reasons why the first couple of seasons of Clone Wars. Number one, it's probably the first time Filoni wasn't a main story writer on Avatar. He was co-writing it with the creator, and he was mostly an animator.
Well,
So Clone Wars would have been like his first venture of being like one of the main story writers, and it was kind of their first like big adventure.
Christmas
Like, oh, we
special.
need to expand on this universe.
well, the thing.
So
with
maybe
the
it took
first,
them a minute to get their footing.
Well, yes. When you make the transition from season 2 to season 3, there is an obvious, like, they found their footing and they found a story. But one of the things that you catch if you watch seasons 1 and 2 is they jump around a lot. Like the first couple of episodes of Clone Wars are further into the timeline, and then like episodes 4 and 5 are what would be considered the first episodes. There's a website that you can watch, or you can go to, that tells you the order to watch them all in chronological order, because episodes like 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 are the main.
Before the first ones.
Well, yeah, they're timeline wise, they happen before the first episodes, but these are the ones they talk about them being at the academy before they become members of the 501st. You had Rex and Cody and Fives and Echo and all the main characters that you meet throughout Clone Wars. They're still in training. They're still on they're still on the planet where the cloners are, and Kamino. They're still on Kamino and training to be clones and all that. And it jumps around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then
So that probably also makes it kind of hard.
Well, I don't think that they intended for this to be what it became. I think they originally intended Clone Wars to be, we're just going to tell a Clone Wars story each week, and that's it. We're just going to tell a story. It doesn't necessarily fit into what's going on.
Oh yeah,
in
they
the
probably
arc.
never sat down and
Yeah.
figured out the whole timeline.
They didn't have a timeline. They didn't have an arc. And then like Mystery says, there are some pretty important arcs. I think it's in season 2 or season 3 of Clone Wars. Huge spoiler, but is what it is. When Ahsoka is expelled from the Order, So
What?
Yeah. So
She's not a Jedi?
yeah. Well, I mean, she's
I
said
feel
that
like
multiple
I feel like
times.
we should all know that by now.
Yeah. She gets expelled because I think this is in season 2. There was a explosion at the Jedi Temple, and many people were
Oh,
killed.
I think they talk about that in Rebels.
Yeah, and
Did she get blamed, but she didn't do anything?
She got blamed for it. She was. They ended up accusing her. She leaves and tries to go and find out who did it, and she's trying to like clear her name. But the more she tries to clear her name, the worse it gets. Like she finds out like, oh, the explosives were made at this warehouse. So she goes to the warehouse looking for clues, where she's found by Republic forces. The Republic police find her basically
They go,
holding.
look, see, we knew it was you.
Basically holding the explosives that were used. She had them right there, and they're like, oh, she's absolutely a Yes, I mean it must be this. It might be
Sorry,
season
mystery
3.
spoiler. You haven't watched it by now, though.
But
I haven't watched any of it. Mystery, don't feel bad.
but she ends up. I will say this is, they end up finding out who the culprit is, and they deal with the culprit, and they ended up expelling Ahsoka because of all
It was
of this.
Jar Jar. Huh?
It was absolute Jar Jar. Spoiler alert. they end up
Fucking knew it.
excommunicating her from, or expelling her from the Jedi Order.
Is that why she has? I know Filoni talks about it. Filoni knows all the deep lore because he's had those conversations with
Well,
fucking Lucas.
He's
but
also wrote
that's
the
why
deep
she has
lore.
the white fucking sabers.
No, the white lightsabers come from purifying,
Cocaine.
yeah, purifying red.
That's how
kyber
she made her
crystals.
money. Oh,
Yeah, and that's where
do you learn that in Rebels? I don't know very much about Ahsoka.
yeah, I think it's in Rebels where you learn, because it's some Inquisitor kyber crystals that she purifies, and when you purify a broken kyber crystal, which is as Sith have to steal their kyber crystals from Jedi, and that's what causes them to bleed, because of they're breaking them, they're breaking the Force connection and all that, so they bleed, and then it takes somebody powerful in the Force to be able to reconnect with the kyber crystal and kind of heal them or purify them from the Sith or dark side. So that's how she ends up with the white lightsabers. But when she gets kicked out of the Order,
why does Mace Windu have purple?
Mace,
Other than because he demanded purple.
okay, so the real reason is because he demanded to have a purple lightsaber.
Yeah, but how does George explain that?
Mace Windu has, I cannot remember the name of the lightsaber fighting technique, but the fighting technique basically works as the
Badass motherfucker.
The angrier you get in fighting Mace Windu, the more powerful his fighting style becomes, the better at it he becomes, and
that makes sense. It's him.
Yeah, so it makes sense. But then also the
It's
purple
Sam
comes from basically a Jedi that has dabbled in both dark side and light side. They draw from both the dark side and the light side.
Are they saying Mace Windu's dabbled in both?
Yes. Yeah. Mace Windu has learned how to draw from dark side energies without falling to the dark side. He's the only Jedi that's been able to do it. Even Yoda hasn't been able to do it. But because of that, being able to draw on the dark side energies, it causes him to be able to master a certain lightsaber technique that isn't common within the Jedi, and that dabbling in the dark side energy is literally, and this is stupid, but it's how it works. Jedi have blue lightsabers, Sith have red lightsabers. Well, what do you get when you mix?
The pad.
Yeah. So what do you get when you mix red and blue? You get purple.
It's called Vapid.
Vapid. Yes, that's it.
That which channels the temptation of the dark side into a force for good.
Right. And it's the ability, for him to be able to draw from the dark side without becoming a victim of the dark side. Because that's the problem is with the dark side, the power of the dark side is really easy to get. It's
Mace Windu's by. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what that George Lucas was trying to get ahead of Budweiser and Coors. He was on the.
But the dark side is really it's like easy money. It's like selling drugs.
Yeah.
You don't really have to do
that video
anything.
you sent me earlier, that I don't know who the fuck that was. The lore nerd of Star Wars talking about how George Lucas has good and bad side.
That's
there is no gray, there is no middle. You're either good or bad.
That's Freddie Prinze Jr. That's Kanan. That's the voice actor that does Kanan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. And that's the reason why he's so passionate about it. Is like, this is why I understand Star Wars. Is he's in Star Wars.
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
Oh,
go back and watch it
he
now.
Looks so much older.
Yeah, go back and watch it now. That's Freddie Prinze Jr.
Okay. And I do want to say there was an episode of Rebels that supported my case that Ezra is a bitch. So I want to talk about that real quick. There's an episode, spoilers if you haven't watched it yet, I'm sorry, mystery. So all your favorite characters show up. Darth Vader shows up. Not this particular episode. I'm just talking Rebels as a whole. Darth Vader and everybody. But there's an episode where Princess Leia comes, and for the first 5 minutes, Ezra keeps saying, why is she in charge? He keeps talking about, why is this woman in charge? Why does she get to give orders?
He's a child. He's a naive child.
He's a fucking bitch.
In a better world, in the world that was meant to be, Ezra would have been immediately recognized as having Force-sensitive powers and immediately taken to the Jedi Temple to be trained as a Jedi. But I mean, if you look at the things that he complains about, and you look at the way in which that he
Women
complains,
in power.
the way in which that he complains about it, he's not dissimilar from Luke Skywalker. You know, the whining of Luke or the whining of Anakin. It's sand. It gets everywhere. I hate them. They killed them. The women and children too. Whatever. You know, it's going from that very immature, childlike personality to a seasoned Force user is kind of a theme within Star Wars. So it's not that he's a bitch. He's just fitting that archetype that.
Oh.
Yeah. But he's not a bitch. Like I said, he's just immature. He's a child.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't like him. He's a bitch.
Your face is a bitch.
Chopper's a fucking badass.
Oh, Chopper's he's a fucking G. I love.
I'm wondering if Filoni's gonna voice him again, and they're gonna do the same exact voice.
I guarantee he is. I guarantee he's gonna do the exact same voice, and we're gonna get the war criminal Chopper. 30 years after,
exciting.
40 years.
The fucking attitude from him.
Yeah, it's so good. I like.
I'm just, the more I watch the Rebels and then I watch the Ahsoka trailer, I'm like, they're not. Some of them fit, but some of them not so much. But whatever.
Give it time.
I'm more looking forward
Trust
to
the process.
Shin looks fucking so badass. I can't wait to see where Filoni goes with the orange lightsaber users and fucking
Dark Jedi.
Shin looks sick as fuck. Like, I mean, they threw those scenes in because it makes the trailer fucking that much cooler, and you want to replay it over and over again. How many times have you seen the Ahsoka trailer? A lot.
Yeah, I've watched.
I mostly watch it for the Shin part. She's already my favorite. Fucking, I love Shin.
I hope that I'm right with what they are and that they are Dark Jedi, because Dark Jedi are.
Filoni kind of teased at that when he was asked about it.
I think they're not Sith. They're not going to be Sith. If this is late in the Star Wars canon, if this is leading up to Episode 7, the Sith are dead. There are no Sith.
No, they're not Sith. They're
right.
He already told. I'll have to find the interview.
Yeah,
he talks about kind of what they are.
He says they not
work for Thrawn.
Yeah, they're not what you think they are.
Yeah, they work for Thrawn, and I'm already assuming that, knowing Filoni, how he likes to do things, I bet they fight against our heroes for majority of the Ahsoka series, and then at the end have to join forces to fight against Thrawn or something, because he does something that they don't quite agree with. Because they are orange, the whole point of them is they do things in self-interest.
Right.
Yeah, they work for Thrawn, but if he fucking oversteps, they'll gladly side with Ahsoka to fight against him.
One of the things that doesn't get fully touched on during the prequel trilogy or the original trilogy is that there was a race of creatures called the Sith. They weren't just dark side Force users. They were a species of creatures that used the basic tenets of the dark side. They used anger and high emotion and all of the
just like as a natural
characteristic. It was just a natural characteristic. There wasn't they could have been good people, but they were they used Force. They drew on the dark side using passion and all these things that are not the teachings of the Jedi, and they were the original people that spread the dark side knowledge and how to use it and things like that. And it was other people, other creatures within the Star Wars universe learned those teachings and learned to do these things, and they adopted the term Sith. And yeah, the name Sith was merely adopted.
Were they not called Sith?
Well, they are. I mean,
their race.
Their race was called Sith, but you look at Palpatine considers himself Sith. Darth Vader was the Dark Lord of the Sith, and then so these people that we're seeing, these orange lightsabers, they're
They're
former
not Sith.
they're former Jedi. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it didn't get touched on with Count Dooku. Count Dooku's a good example. He was a
They-
fallen Jedi too. He wasn't Sith,
Yeah.
even though he was given the name Darth Tyrannus.
Yeah.
He was an apprentice to Sidious. He wasn't a true Sith. He's not a real Sith.
They almost feel like the Sabines of the Jedi world.
Yeah, that's a good. They're the
They
Sabines
they
of the Jedi
use
world, but
yeah,
a
they
little bit darker.
they grew up in it, and they fucking they were big in it. They were Jedis. Like Sabine was a Mandalorian,
and I
and
think
they're totally unrelated to it now. Like
we even take it a step further because if you look at Kanan Jarrus in Rebels, he's not a Jedi. He never became
Yeah, no.
never became a Jedi. He was a Padawan. His master died in Order 66, so he didn't have the ability to. He was never a Jedi. He was always just a Padawan, and when he takes Ezra on, and I'm sure you've seen this now, and it might come up later, when he takes Ezra on, and he realizes that Ezra is really powerful, and he becomes
Yeah.
worried that he's not going to be able to teach Ezra what he needs to teach him, and
yeah, he tried to pass him.
he
off,
tried to
too.
pass him off, and that's, I think what's going to be you're going to see with these two orange lightsaber users is that they were the older the Byron or Bright whatever the guy's name is. I think he's going to be a former Jedi Padawan whose master died in Order 66, which gives us a great segue into watching Order 66 again, because that's what Filoni likes to do to us, is torture us with Order 66 every single series he puts out. We need to have an Order 66. But I think that that this character did not complete his training, and comes across this other person, this girl, the one you like, and begins teaching her what little he knows. And because
Yeah.
they're not experienced in the Jedi ways, they don't fully have the full mastery of the Force. They end up falling to the temptation of the dark side. It's really easy to get angry and use that anger to make yourself more powerful, even though you're not really an evil person. You just in a situation where you were mad and you got better.
Yeah, no, she.
So I think that's what you're going to see.
From the
with these.
little I've seen, she just seems like a chaotic person that
Yeah,
will just fucking
which-
go off the handle.
which would really make sense of somebody that was probably good or good at good intentions.
Yeah, not
but-
necessarily evil, but
right.
you'll just quickly fucking
But I think
have anger problems.
yeah, and I think that's what we're going to see with as you watch the Clone War, or not Clone Wars, as you watch Rebels, and one of the things you need to watch Bad Batch next.
Yeah.
Because this season of Bad Batch is also working to really set up Ahsoka, and
They're only like 2 seasons. of that?
this is just season 2.
What does the Bad Batch cover?
It covers.
Isn't that just clones?
Yeah. Well, no. Yes, they are clones. They're failed. They're classified as failed experiments of being clones, trying to genetically make the clones better than what they already were, and some things happened and they weren't as
made a
good.
Bad Batch.
Yeah, they made it. It was a bad batch of clones. But it's also setting up the fact that even during the Clone War era and the Rebels era, Thrawn was already beginning to dabble in clone technology, and the Republic and the early Empire was already messing with clone technology, even after the Clone Wars, and even after what the cloners on Kamino were doing. The Empire took that as like the base and they started expanding on it. And
I know Filoni and Mary Elizabeth Weinstead.
Yeah.
I know both of them mentioned the Bad Batch, that they suggest you should watch it before the Ahsoka series.
Right, because it's setting up it's setting up the cloning side, and that's what we're gonna, because that's what's happening in Mando right now.
As F and F explain away,
Yeah.
7, 8, and 9.
Exactly. Well, that's yeah. They're filling all of the terrible plot holes and doing a damn good job doing it as well.
Yeah.
But you have all this is being done is to explain that one line that I've harped on for weeks now is somehow Palpatine returned. They're
Yeah.
literally looking to explain that away by setting up.
Filoni's already basically explained it.
Yeah, and
He's- in several interviews, he's
Right.
said that they're gonna, they cloned him, and that we're gonna show you how
Right.
and break
and
it
that's
down.
and that's what's going to be going on in Ahsoka, and that's how your two Dark Jedi tie in because they have to
I want
have
to see that. I want to see Shan fuck some shit up.
they have to have metachlorians to clone a Force user. That's the problem. Is it appears that the Force is what generates life, and the metachlorians is what gives you that connection to the Force. Well, you can clone a creature, but it appears that they can't clone metachlorians. Like they haven't been able to accomplish that.
Where do they get them?
And that's where they're going to use Force-sensitive creatures to be able to establish that metachlorians. That's why Grogu is so important, is because
Maybe
of
they'll
his,
talk about what the fuck happened to the Force sensitive kids that they never touched on after the 7, 8, 9, the sequels.
Well, that's going to be what the new Jedi Order movie covers. That Daisy Ridley is going to be in. It's going to take place 15 years after Episode 9, and her reestablishing the Jedi Order, which I'm gonna call it now. It's not going to be called Jedi. It's going to be called Skywalkers. They're not going to be called Jedis. They're going to be called Skywalkers, and that there's already precedent for that. Part of Thrawn's backstory is his species originated from the unknown regions. It was unknown to the Empire, the mainstream galaxy, that this even existed because it was so much. There was so much space debris. There were so many like space objects that made navigating the unknown regions pretty much impossible. That the mainstream explorers from the Empire, the Republic, whatever, they just didn't go there. Well,
Yeah, they avoided
it. So the Thrawn species called the Chiss. The Chiss grew up and developed and evolved from inside the unknown regions. And what they did is when they finally mastered light speed travel, they used force sensitive Chiss to be their navigators through light speed. That they used their connection to the Force to be able to navigate. And what did they call them? They called them Skywalkers. And there's already a precedent for this type of thing to exist. And
so they're also going to fix and say, no, Rey was a nobody.
She was a nobody.
But she's a Skywalker.
Right. And that, I guarantee that's where it's going. That is my long term how they're going to fix this. And Rey Skywalker, no Rey Palpatine, no, she is nobody.
Yeah.
But
well, the amount of money I'd pay to just be in the writing room with Favreau and Filoni just talking about and organizing their thoughts and saying, no, but what, like,
how do we fix this? How do we make this make sense?
She's not a Skywalker. I can see Filoni saying she's not a Skywalker though.
Yeah, yeah, and she really
Rey nobody.
Rey nobody, and I really think that's where all of this is going.
Well, I'm excited for. I'm especially excited for Shin. Looks badass.
I
like badass female characters, as we all know.
I'm excited. Shin, I think, is going to be cool. I love Sabine.
I hope Sabine's cool.
Yeah, I think she'll be great. I love Hera. She's a cool character. But all of that just stands off to the side of the fact that we're finally getting Grand Admiral Thrawn. We're going to get, and I can't wait for you to meet him in Rebels. And so you can
I think
kind
I'm
of
almost there
because you can already start to see, who he is and what he does, and
Mist Rey. Character.
Yeah.
I really liked Rey. My daughter's middle name is Rey, spelled like Rey from Star Wars.
She was a good character, and
She's a great character
and a good actress.
She's a great character in a bad fucking movie.
And poor to mediocre writing. The decisions that they made with those three movies and how they had no cohesive story arc, a story that they wanted to tell. They were leaving it up to the individual story writers, and George Lucas wasn't involved, and the only legacy member of LucasArts or Lucasfilm that was there trying to create a story was Kathleen Kennedy. And while the wisdom, knowledge, and everything that George Lucas gave Dave Filoni, and Dave took all of that to heart and really truly understood the themes that within Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy just didn't. She just didn't,
Yeah.
and she hasn't. And
No, we've talked about this. How
she's an
viewed it more
excellent-
as a business venture.
she's an excellent business person. She knows how
Yeah.
to sell Star Wars. She knows how to make Star Wars make money by the brand. She's the best in the business as far as I'm concerned when it comes to the.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars.
And now you have Favreau, who knows how to make entertainment, and now you have Filoni, who, I'm sure there's other people that are wonderful too, but one of the best Star Wars story writers we have. Now you have this fucking team, and hopefully they give us some fucking killer. I'm
The-
excited for where Star Wars goes. Now that we have something, because Halo fucking killed itself. We have something else to look forward
Well,
to.
That's another reason why I implore you to, even if you do the Audible books, to listen to the Thrawn books. There's quite a few of them now that are before.
I think there's 5 of them.
Yeah,
now.
there's books before the Empire and during the Republic era, during the Clone War era, and there's Thrawn books post that time period leading up to Episode 4 and whatnot. The authors that existed that were writing in the Star Wars universe in the 90s and 2000s, they were telling an excellent story. And there was a lot of like, okay, telling this story over here, then this story's over there, then that story's over here. And there wasn't always a lot of connection between the individual books, but that were written by different writers. But the overarching story that was being told was that Luke went on to create a Jedi Academy. Han Solo and Leia Organa Solo had twins, and
Fucked.
they had twins. Then they later had a third child. Yeah,
But Rebels throws me off all the time when they keep saying General Organa, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And it's her dad.
It's her
I'm
dad.
like,
Well,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's
That's
Bail
right.
Organa,
That's
yeah.
right.
But there was all these cool stories that the expanded universe was telling, and when Disney bought Star Wars, they pretty much implied that the 25, 30 years of Star Wars post Episode 6 lore was gone and never to be seen again. They're just cool stories. The universe is
But
big.
Filoni's bringing them back.
And then the excellent writers like Timothy Zahn and Kevin J. Anderson and Michael Stackpole and Aaron Alston, these writers that created fucking awesome characters. They're all slowly getting, brought back into it. And starting with Timothy Zahn and Thrawn is the best decision that they could make. And now they're talking about doing an X-Wing movie or X-Wing TV show, and they're going to base it off the X-Wing book series that was written by Michael Stackpole that was just fucking good.
Yeah.
They're realizing that, hey, we have all of this amazingly good material. Let's draw from that. We're obviously really bad at writing our own. Let's bring these storytellers in that have been telling stories in Star Wars for 30 fucking years. Maybe they know what they're doing.
Why are they called X-Wings and Y-Wings and A-Wings when they don't use the English alphabet? Where'd they get those shapes from?
See, there's this.
I saw somebody tweet about that today, and I was like, wait a minute.
There's this there's this thing in storytelling called we're not going to talk about it, just fucking go with it.
Oh, okay.
But I'll do you one
I
better.
don't care. I just saw it tweeted, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
That's funny, but also, who the fuck cares?
I'll give you the X-Wing, I'll give you the Y-Wing, and I'll give you the A-Wing. What I won't give you is the B wing, the E wing, and there's another one. I guess it would be the Z95.
Yeah, but they're also speaking English, so
That's true.
like they got it from somewhere. They ain't the sacred texts.
The sacred texts. I
They were
like
in there.
I like in the X-wing books, it was the whole series written about the pilots. You know, the crack shot, arrogant pilots of Rogue Squadron, the best of the best,
Yeah.
and they used slang to recognize the Imperial ships. You know, they didn't call them TIE fighters; they were called eyeballs. You know, which you look, okay, that makes sense. You know, they weren't called TIE interceptors; they were called squints because they kind of look like they're squinting at you.
Mm.
And then there was another story in one of the books that was a part of it.
Squadron of squints coming our way.
Yeah, it's really what it was. There's like 3 squints headed our way. You know, 3 squints and 2 eyeballs. Bombers were called dupes because they had two pods, dupes. But there was a story where they were dealing with pirates, and the pirates were taking parts from both Rebel and Imperial ships and making, you know, new ships, and they called them uglies.
Yeah. The thrown together ones.
Yeah.
I hope we get some more of that in the story.
I hope we do too.
There's hardly ever used like that one badass cool ship they use in Rebels, the one that weird fucking dude on that planet that nobody can fly to made.
Not familiar.
They
with
used
what
it to
you're
get
talking about.
past the blockade. It looks like fucking one of the Y wings. No, what's the ship? B wing.
Yeah, well, the
No.
B wing.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
another
It looks like one of the B wings. That dude, Hera has to pilot it. They find it on that weird planet that's like really hard to get to because it has like a weird magnetic field around it,
Mhm.
and like you just basically crash going there. And there's like this weird dude that there's like a rumor going around that he has a ship that not only can fly there but is super fast and like, you know, it has the weapon that's basically like a fucking mini Death Star. You remember that ship?
Yeah. Yep.
And it kind of looks like a B-wing.
Yep, I
like
know
that
what you're
ship was
talking
cool
about.
as fuck.
Yeah, that
And
was a shout
so
out.
far,
That was a
so
shout
far I
out to
haven't
Sun
seen it
Crusher.
again.
That was another
Sun Crusher.
yeah, that was another story that was taken from the expanded universe. There was a the technology
Well,
for
again,
the technology for the
mega
Death Star
nerd
still
Filoni.
existed. And
Mega nerd throwing all the shit in there.
oh, it's
Filoni.
the original expanded universe was so good. So good.
I'm excited for this finale of Mandalorian. It's
Oh,
only
it's gonna be-
39 minutes.
It's going to be off the fucking hook. It's going to be just
Shit's gonna happen. That's all I know.
I
I'm thinking Ahsoka might show up, but I don't know.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I really hope it closes with Thrawn. That all this is culminating towards, you know, there's only one person that they keep talking about. It's like, man,
What if Ahsoka comes in? Oh, I don't want to have any spoilers. Fuck. When Ahsoka comes and saves the thing, and then beats the one thing, and then Thrawn shows up.
Well, I think
and then
that yeah,
credits.
yeah, I think that's basically. I think that's pretty accurate because it's even alluded to in a couple of episodes ago, where Bo-Katan makes a comment. She goes, "This is way too many Imperial ships to be a warlord. Like this isn't right. This isn't normal."
Yeah, they hinted at it.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
there's
We'll
only-
talk about it next week. I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah,
I
there's
did
only
want
one
to talk
person it can be.
about.
It's Thrawn.
Well, I don't really want to talk about it. Real Mystery said something about if the cartoons show how powerful Darth Vader is. I think they really do, even
Yes.
more so than some of the movies. Like a lot of especially the original, the prequels. You barely see him do fucking anything.
They do a better job in kind of building up the hype that is Darth Vader. You the
Got a fucking bloody nose. I got so excited. Hold on.
The
But
games
I hope
that are
Ahsoka does a good job showing how powerful Ahsoka is.
I
'Cause,
think
like
they
Rebels
I think they absolutely
really
will.
shows how fucking powerful she is.
Yeah. Well, and not only is she a powerful Force user in general, she was trained by the Chosen One. She was trained by the most powerful Jedi that's lived.
Yeah.
So of course she's going to, she's going to be a badass
They swapped
bitch.
midichlorians.
Yeah, and I hope that. I really
I
hope that
hope
they
they
were
fix
going
her
to.
headdress, and I hope Hera's headdress doesn't look stupid.
I wish. I was really hoping that they were going to let the midichlorian story die. That we were just not going to talk about it anymore. That it was a thing in the original or the prequel trilogy, but we just don't talk about it now. Even though it does get talked about in Clone Wars, it gets talked about in Rebels.
I haven't heard it talked about in Rebels yet, but
You will.
I have like 4 episodes left in season 2. There's 5 seasons, right?
I believe it is. It's either 4 seasons or 5 seasons. They get real later in the Clone Wars and late in the Clone Wars, late in Rebels. They really get going into discussion of like exploring what the Force is.
It's 4 seasons. Yeah.
And there's many references and stories concerning Force users or Force sensitive people that have nothing to do with the Sith or the Jedi. There's one species that Kanan and Ezra meets that he is extraordinarily powerful in the Force. Probably one of the most powerful Force sensitive creatures in the universe.
Yeah.
But he's not Jedi, he's not Sith. He was born into the Force. He was probably born of the Force.
I like that they show more of that too, and Filoni's bringing that more to the live action stuff because they've always been so heavy. It's just the Jedi and the Sith, and that's it. And these two, and they fight.
One of the things I like about the later seasons in Clone Wars is they really go balls deep into explaining how powerful Anakin really is and why he really is the chosen one and what that means for not just for the universe, the galaxy, and the Empire Rebellion, all that, but what it means for the Force itself. Like why did the Force allow him to be created? What is his purpose in bringing balance to the Force, and what is his responsibilities? And
because the Force is self-balancing.
Right. And it's his responsibility to. He is the.
Is Ezra supposed to be super powerful or something?
No. Ezra's a Jedi. He would have been a pretty decent Jedi had he been identified. And had the Jedi not fallen, had the Empire not been rose to power, all that stuff, had Order 66 not happened, Ezra would have been identified and he would have been trained, and he'd have been a good Jedi. But
I feel like so many people are going to be upset at the finale of Mandalorian. I'm calling it now.
Probably.
I'm not going to say what I think is going to happen, but I feel like there's going to be some people that are upset, and I feel like there's going to be a few nerdy fucks like us that are just going to be loving every second of it. Because like that last episode,
I know.
The way it's laying out why it's titled Mandalorian. It's so cool.
I will say this. When we finish this episode, I'll send you a picture. And without any context, without any spoilers.
No dick pics, please.
That paint scheme of that particular character, paint scheme, I created that paint scheme fucking 15 years ago. I'm just telling you now. I did it. Mine looks exactly like his. Exactly like his. They hacked into my Facebook account and got those pictures.
Found you.
And found me. And they're like, "Oh man, John's paint scheme for this is way better than what I could do, so let's just use his." It's the same fucking thing. Same thing. I'll send it to you. You'll agree. Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's gonna be a long couple months, but I guess I have Rebels, but I'm already halfway through
Well,
Rebels.
once you finish Rebels, go ahead and either tackle Bad Batch.
I'll probably go Rebels and then season 7 of Clone Wars and then Bad Batch, and then by then hopefully Ahsoka's out.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you'll finish Rebels.
I'm not gonna watch all the Clone Wars because
But see, you're missing out on some really good storytelling though, especially in the later seasons. The Mandalorian arcs that's going on, and
I'll look it up. I'll watch it.
Why the Mandalorians flat out respect Ahsoka for what she's doing. You see Ahsoka in later in the series is, and even in, I don't think you can see it in the live action, but she is such a close ally to the Mandalorians that they give her a set of armor. Like she has, if you see her in the later seasons and maybe even season 7 of Clone Wars, she's wearing that chest piece she's wearing. That's Beskar, and it's a Mandalorian made Beskar armor that they give her because she's so fucking badass.
I hope they touch on while some of the Mandalorians have like impure Beskar and why they can get shot and like killed so easily, and other ones, just fucking get shot at all day long.
It's there. A lot of it's explained. And that there was two.
I mean, in Ahsoka or the Filoniverse going forward.
I would say it might get explained in the Filoniverse.
I don't know. Maybe he's assuming that if you want to know that deep, you'll go back and watch his. He's already told you.
That's true. That's true. I didn't particularly have a cream of the week, but I will say this: getting to spend an hour and a half talking about Star Wars today is probably my cream of the week.
Talking about it again.
Talking about it again, and getting hyped for for Wednesday's episode and all that. The plot armorinium. Yeah.
Plot armorinium. Yeah, that's a good one.
Plot
Some
Escar.
strong fucking. Yeah, plot Escar. That one you can't fucking lightsabers, blasters, nothing gets through that.
Yeah. Plot armor is, I mean, it's stronger than vibranium and titanium and Beskar, and
that's a sign of a good writer though, when like they have it but it's not so obvious.
Right. There's
so many shows do it terribly where you're just like, they're not gonna die though.
Well, and I think that was I think that's kind of one of the reasons why people don't really like. Some people don't like Mando as much because there is a lot of
the show.
Yeah,
plot armor.
Because he does walk with a lot of plot armor, and especially during that first season, that was like because every adventure, every episode started out with, we have to go do this, so they go to do it. Well, you can't do this because you need to do this first. So you get this like, oh, what is Mando going to get into this week? And you end up realizing that, okay, he's going to do something pretty off the wall and pretty crazy, but in the end, he's going to save the day.
I think at first too, the same thing as Clone Wars. I don't think they expected this to be huge, and they didn't plan out like an arcing, story. They're just like, let's just do Mandalorian. It'll be kind of fun. Let's do some stories, and all right, baby Yoda, Grogu's cool.
I definitely agree with that because, well, but then again, on the other hand, I think that they may not have had a completely fleshed out story.
By the time they started season 2, I think they started being like, all right, we have to actually like.
Well, because I mean, from the very beginning, they were already the Moff Gideon and the professor were already chasing Grogu because the end game is whatever. This isn't a spoiler. This is a prediction. Whatever the magic sauce is that allows a Force-sensitive clone to be created, however Palpatine is created, it's going to be from Grogu. Grogu is going to be captured, and it might even be what this week is about. Is him? Yeah.
I told you people are going to be upset, but
I think he's going to get captured at some point, either now or in the Ahsoka series, and now, well, I guess that's a spoiler, so we won't talk about that. But whatever it is, his midichlorians, his force connection goop is going to be
foreskin goop.
Yeah, his foreskin goop is going to be extracted from him and injected into whatever the clone blank is, and that's how Palpatine's going to be created. I don't know. I don't think he's going to die. I don't think Grogu's going to die. I think Grogu is going to survive all the way through. I think we're going to
do experiments on him, and that'll be the Ahsoka series trying to. The weird thing is, if you know how Lucas wants the Force to work, it it doesn't make sense that the bad guys are always trying to kill the good guys because the Force will self-balance.
Right.
By you killing all the Jedis, you're launching that the next one will be even more powerful.
Right.
Apparently, it was Frankie Prince Jr. that was talking about it, but the thing he was saying about how everyone's so upset the Rey's so powerful and took like no training, that's literally the Force self-balancing itself
It is, but it's also
by
the
making
exact,
her super powerful.
one of the things that's also that he talks about there is, we bitch about a girl doing a weekend training class and becoming a Jedi when
Yeah.
Luke
Except with Luke.
Skywalker went to Dagobah
He
for
went
about
to
a
Swampland.
yeah, and he
for a
went for
week.
like a week. It was like Star Wars summer camp, and he goes and he gets like this.
Yeah, in a week he can lift a fucking
Yeah.
X-wing.
Right, and we don't complain about that. Like that's just that's
hanging out
okay.
hanging out with some weird old fucking geezer
Yeah,
that talks backwards.
and that's completely overlooked, and that's a very valid point. And I even had an issue with it early on, like, oh, Rey, how is she able to do what she's able to do when she's had no formal training? And I'm like, oh yeah, Luke didn't really have any formal
didn't
training
really either.
Anakin was Ahsoka. Ahsoka's a good example. Ahsoka is extremely powerful,
Yeah.
and she also had 7 years of. Well, it wasn't 7 years. It was about 3
Ahsoka
years.
makes sense though, because she trained for fucking ever
Yeah.
under Anakin.
Under Anakin in a structured, well, somewhat structured. Yeah, that she talks about that in, maybe
naturally talented.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, naturally full of midichlorians.
right.
Naturally,
the
the Force
by force sensitive
focused
being
you.
yeah. But one of the things I love about the story of Ahsoka is Ahsoka was a soldier first and Jedi second. She grew up in the Jedi Order.
Well, she's still not a Jedi. She's
No.
still not focused on being a Jedi.
But she grew up in the Order when the Order was at war.
Order 66?
For thousands of years leading up to this point, the Jedi were peacekeepers. Everything was peaceful. We're going to see that in the High Republic movies. But they were peacekeepers. They were monks. They were not these warriors that the Clone Wars made them out to be. And
Yeah.
Ahsoka really struggled with that. Is like, I don't know how to be this calm-minded warrior monk when I was trained. I was a soldier. I was a soldier first. They took
Yeah.
me straight in, and her very first assignment in the very beginning of Clone Wars is she was dispatched to Anakin in the middle of a battle, and that's how she started her training.
I think people just didn't like her because she's a girl, and they're really
Yeah.
not going to like Ahsoka because you got the Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Sabine,
Well,
Hera, fucking
Everyone
Power
hated.
Squad.
Everyone hated Ahsoka when she was in the Clone Wars. When that show when it was in the beginning, like she's a little girl. How can she be a powerful Jedi when she's basically running around in a short skirt and a halter top? How is that a powerful Jedi? And all of these things. And I do question her costuming decisions for those early years of Clone Wars, but then looking back on it, and people are like, "Oh yeah, Ahsoka's awesome." The internet hated her. The internet hated Jar Jar Binks. The internet's going to hate on Rey, and as time progresses, they're going to start. Oh yeah, Rey's awesome. Like no, you guys fucking hated her in the beginning.
They're going to hate on the
Very
finale of
soon.
Mandalorian. I'm already calling it. Until Ahsoka comes out and you see why things led to certain things.
Yeah,
I think we've gone long enough, though. We talked about Star Wars too much.
We.
I already know that here in a few days when Mandalorian finale release, I already know there's going to be upset people.
Yeah.
Calling it now.
More experienced than you think before she enters the picture in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Well, like we said, Mia Khalifa said she only made 12,000. Just because on screen they seem like they're a certain amount of experience. Behind the scenes, it might be a lot more.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is Ahsoka was trained in the academy as a youngling. Plo Koon, one of my favorite Jedi. Plo Koon is who discovered Ahsoka and brought her to the Order when she was a baby. So
Yeah.
she trained for probably 12 years before she became an apprentice underneath Anakin. So she's had a lot of experience to be a badass bitch. She just never.
Is Plo Koon dead? Yeah, he's dead.
Plo Koon
Right, Plo-
dies in Order 66. He's one of the ones in the
Oh.
Jedi Starfighters that gets shot. He's the one that wears the weird mask with the black eyes, or the black
Yeah.
pieces over his eyes. Plo Koon's
Yeah.
pretty cool. He's not my favorite Jedi Master, but he's up there.
He's a cool design.
My favorite's Kit Fisto. He's my favorite Jedi Master.
He's fucking weird design. but okay.
He goes on adventures a couple of different episodes in Clone Wars, and
Mm.
he's cool. He's one of the better. He's like Mace Windu's the best swordsman. Anakin and Yoda are like 2 and 3, and Kit Fisto is behind them when it comes to like
Yeah.
sword, lightsaber abilities and skills. Kit Fisto's
Kit
there.
Fisto's definitely. There's definitely a porn called Kit Fisto.
There's absolutely some Rule 34.
It's
of
it's
Kit
called
Fisto.
it's
no doubt
it's,
in my mind.
it's called Get Fisto.
Kit Fisto.
Definitely.
And he dies like a you talk about bitches. He dies like a fucking bitch in episode 3.
Get Fisto?
Yeah, Palpatine kills him. It's Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, and 2 other Jedi masters come in. I can't remember the other 2's name, and they're like, Senator Palpatine, you are under arrest for crimes against the Republic, and
Yeah.
he jumps up and does that twirling thing, and he stabs Kit Fisto almost immediately. Kit goes down like a bitch.
I
hate
we're gonna have
that.
to say
I
this
hate
for another fucking episode. Is General Grievous force sensitive?
No.
Okay.
Grievous has a pretty cool backstory, and if you want to talk
he's
about it next
just
week,
He's just good with lightsabers.
Yeah.
Trained by
Count Dooku trained him on how to.
Yeah.
Dooku trained him on all of the different lightsaber fighting styles. So Grievous is really good at, like, depending on how, when he goes to face a Jedi,
General Kenobi.
he looks at the way that Jedi is moving and his stances and things like that, and he's like, oh, he's using Form 3, and Form 6 is the best counter to Form 3, so he knows what to do.
Oh, that was like the in Rebels, the one fucking Inquisitor that keeps talking like that, like he's really cool, and
Yeah.
then Ahsoka like shits on his fucking face. But yeah,
He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, General Kenobi. All right.
I hope we get some cool, other than just Chopper. I hope there's some more cool droids.
Clone Wars is full of cool droids.
Yeah, but I'm not watching it. So
You need
that's
to. Like I
Pig's
said-
Pod for this week. Thanks for hanging out, Mystery and Rabble.
I will say this: even our chat got really busy today, which is fucking awesome. The users in the chat and our viewers watching our episode is the highest we've ever had on Twitch. So this was
That's what happens when you talk politics
and
on a gaming podcast.
ironically, the politics is when we had the most users and most viewers.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, we started talking about Star Wars again, and they're like, "Fucking
oh,
again,
goddamn
bro."
Star Wars.
The spoilers. I
Yeah.
haven't watched that episode of Mandalorian. There's a guy at work. I was trying to talk about it with a guy that used to work where I work. Came in, and we were talking about Mandalorian, and this other guy was like, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Shh, be quiet, be quiet." I'm like,
you need to fucking hurry up.
we were talking like theories for the finale, and the other guy's like, "Shh, you guys are." I'm like, "Well, get the fuck out of here, then. Go watch it. What are you doing?"
Yeah, you're on break. Watch it now.
And then he came back when we were talking about it, and I was telling him, "Yeah, you need to watch Rebels." I mean, I just started it, but fucking, I can see that Filoni's definitely. There's a reward for watching Rebels.
like a
and the other
reward.
stuff. It's like a reward.
That's one of my favorite movies, by the way.
I love
Is,
it. And
yeah,
Christoph Waltz is one of my favorite
yeah,
actors. I love it.
Django is
Django's so good.
it is so funny. It's so good. It's one of my it's one of my favorite movies. It's definitely my favorite Tarantino movie, but
Yeah.
um
Well, I was going to talk about Game of Thrones Mystery when just the plot Armoronium. I don't know how the fuck you say that. Whatever. That I think that was why Game of Thrones was so successful because
No one had
George
that
R. R.
armor.
Martin was so fucking willing to just they're
Fuck
gone.
that guy. Yeah. You know,
They're fucking gone.
we had. what was it?
Other than Arya, nobody really had plot armor.
Well, even
because-
then, she got injured a couple of times when she was in.
yeah, but we all knew she wasn't going to go anywhere because of his whole thing with his wife, and he promised like, "Yeah, I won't."
Yeah,
kill
I guess
Arya,"
that's
but
true.
Everyone else is fucking up for.
Well, we went 8 months between seasons when not knowing if Jon Snow was really dead yet.
Yeah.
You know, because he was stabbed at the Night's Watch, and then
Yeah,
that was
well,
the end of the season.
you actually didn't know.
Yeah.
Whereas most other TV shows, you're like, "No, he's not fucking dead. Come on,
Like,
he's the
nah,
star of the
he's
fucking show."
Probably dead because
Yeah,
it was
but in
already
Game of Thrones.
yeah.
You don't know. You're like, "Oh fuck, did us kill anybody?"
yeah, they killed the biggest named actor on the show at the time in the first episodes when they killed Sean Bean's character
yeah, like
right out of the gate.
Like by episode 3 or 4, he's fucking gone.
Yeah, like right out of the gate. Like here you go. Here's the only big named actor on this series at this moment in time, and now he's dead. And he's dead. Yeah, I heard that story about how
Yeah, I've heard about
he
that.
got out of a ticket by telling that story. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and
no,
then he fucked his aunt on the boat. But anyways.
I mean, if that was your aunt, you'd fuck her too. So I mean, it is what it is.
Hey, now. I don't have hot aunts like her.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't either. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, Mystery.
That
we gotta be done.
Bye, Mystery. Bye,
Yeah,
bye from
good
Canada.
night, Mystery.
Bye,
Good night,
no more.
Rabble. Good night,
bye, Rabble. Bye.
good night, Moon.
Good night, Moon. Go the fuck to sleep.
All right,
All right,
you
bye,
guys
kid.
have a great night. Bye, guys. And stop.